Dennis Swirl.
In the city where the lights don't sleep, Uncle D got the vibe so deep. Representing men strong and free. Dennis Pearl is the king of the spree. In the streets where the rhythm flows, black men rising, that's how it goes. Uncle D got the truth to show. In his heart, that's where the fire glows. Late night tuning, light up the stream. Dennis Pearl and wisdom gleam. Voices whisper truth and insight. In his podcast, feel the light. Harmony in every word. Truth and laughter you've heard.
Well, that's all right.
Wave after wave of smooth delight. Dennis brings the dark to light.
That's the Blizzard, baby!
Share the tales unfold. Stories warm like morning gold. Feeling the wisdom that's building. Subscribe and like time after time.
Black men, black men, black men. I want to salute you. Your incarceration rate is down. The education rate is up. We up. We went from, we are doing great for ourselves. So you should salute yourselves. Shout out to all the brothers out there, whether you're a truck driver or engineer, whether you're an electrician or garbage man, a doctor or lawyer, if you're a hardworking brother, if you fresh out the penitentiary, but you on your grind and you doing it legal and you trying to make amends for yourself, man, I salute you too, brothers. God bless you. This is Uncle D, and you know, I'm out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the broadcast. This is Dennis Sterling. And we are going to have a barn burner tonight. There has been a lot of political development since Donald Trump has been elected president. Number one, I mean, unless you haven't been watching the news or haven't been paying attention to social media, you know about these immigration raids, and they went in full effect immediately. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, like, golly, Donald Trump and those folks, they didn't waste any time, man. Check this out.
ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent.
You know what? Before I get started, let me be polite.
A lot were released.
Let me make sure I said thank you to everybody, all my guys, all my wrench mob, Mr. 43TX, Teaching the War, Pooh Man 313. Who else we got up in? A big shout out to everybody. Mark the Freelancer. Got to be polite. Got to give a shout out to my folks. Boris Barracuda, Reverend Kevin Powell. Big shout out to you. And shout out to everybody who is going to contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. It's running across the bottom of the screen. Nevertheless, I've compiled some footage of all these various ICE raids, and we're going to have a real serious conversation. Black people are indifferent to these illegal raids. Really, their indifference to the pain being caused. And as you know, Uncle D puts the footage together, but let's look at the evidence first. Bam, here we go. Hit the number one button if you can hear.
Illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction. Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. A sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration. This man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. Ms. Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
Today was a good day. Today we took several significant public safety threats out of our communities. Unfortunately,
I'm gonna slide this one for
That's right. I came here too legally.
Yeah, and making a difference, not hurting anybody, not stealing from anybody, earning your way.
Well, God bless you for being on the Trump train.
Now, I want you all somebody say work hard. Somebody say work hard. Somebody say stop resisting. Don't resist, right? If you work hard, right, you can make it in this country. Isn't that what they say?
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
Like the black folks. Work
God
hard.
is
Somebody
gonna
say work
prevail through
hard.
Trump.
That's
I
right.
believe this.
I agree with you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Latinos for Trump, it is time to embrace the consequences of your actions.
Fair use.
I've always been a firm believer of fighting fire with fire. If somebody goes low, I'll go lower. Now, with that being said, I know for a fact that most Latinos for Trump have undocumented family members, whether that be their parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, etc. So if you know of a Latino who voted for Trump, I urge you to call this number and report said family members.
He is messy. You see that? He's saying, let's see that number again. Hold on a minute. He is real messy.
And report said family members.
Nice.
It's time that these Latinos for Trump get a taste of their own medicine and a taste of poetic justice. Now, I know what you may be thinking, Angel, this is extreme. And I agree. But extreme problems call for extreme solutions. And unfortunately, many innocent people are going to be affected by this. But you can't be that innocent if you raised a Latino for Trump. And before all of the Latinos for Trump come at me all angry, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You should be happy. Let me see that smile. But
now, I know why I voted for Donald Trump. I wanted to keep my taxes low. You see what I'm saying? I know why. But see, here's the thing: the vast majority of black people voted for Hillary Clinton. Nevertheless, I know that my interests align with the Republican Party right now. I have a good reason for voting for Donald Trump. Now, if I was Latino and I was an undocumented, or I had relatives who were undocumented, I probably would have voted for Hillary Clinton, just because, damn, this mama might have to go home. Daddy might have to go home. But this is what happens when you come to the United States and you practice what truly is anti-black racism. Let's just keep it 100, okay? And you think you're white and you think they'll accept you if you vote like them and talk like them and marry them and so on and so forth. But the thing that immigrants don't realize is that before you are treated like a white person in the United States, you have to be treated like a black person in the United States. Let me run that back. Before you get treated like a white person, whether you're Irish or Italian or whomever, they treat you like a black person first. And this is their chance at it. Keep listening.
there you have it, guys. Once again, there is that number. You know what to do. It's time that these Latinos for Trump learn the hard way. But anyways, let me know what you guys think.
A U.S. citizen and military veteran was detained and held by ICE today. You heard that right. A U.S. citizen who served in the military in this country was detained and held by ICE because he wasn't carrying any documentation that proves that he is a U.S. citizen. This took place in Newark, New Jersey, and the mayor issued a statement confirming that that individual's Fourth Amendment rights were violated. He also confirmed that ICE is stopping undocumented immigrants as well as citizens, residents, everybody. And I made a video a few days ago talking about how ICE agents will racially profile, and this exact situation can happen to you, whether you are a U.S. citizen, whether you're a resident. They can stop and
not all U.S. citizens, not all. Okay, baby girl, not all the U.S. citizens. Okay, we not having that problem. Okay, as soon as they hear us speak, they know he from here. You understand? Let's just keep it 100.
question anybody. They can knock on your door. Now they can go to the schools and talk to your children. They can go to the hospital. I also saw videos of other creators say you don't have to carry your U.S. passport or your resident card or your birth certificate. You just have to tell them that you are a U.S. citizen and they will leave you alone.
That's not gonna work.
Friends, I've been telling you guys, make sure that you take pictures of your U.S. passport or your resident card or your visa or your birth certificate, and you carry a picture on your phone. That way you're not carrying.
Y'all own it. Let's look at that. 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 Boy, look at that. Look at that. Oh man. See that right there? Yes, Lord. Y'all getting y'all wake up call. Praise God. Let's keep listening. Look at this. Look at this. Bam. Look at how they rolling through there.
They out here.
This is in.
They trying to get us. Look
how they hauling these people off.
Man.
Look, I want you to see these
let's get up out of here, dog. Look, they ice. This is all ice. They're deep.
Look how they hauling them off. Look at these trucks.
People and shit like that.
You see this truck? They are packing folk in these trucks, man.
They're loading
Look
my
at that.
fucking people up and throwing them in back to
Look at that, man.
Let
Look
my
at that.
migrants go.
They got lines of them.
Crazy.
Lines of
A
them.
bunch of people up and threw them up and shit like that.
Look at that.
That's ice right
That's ice. Look at my man. He was working, minding his business. This is just 5 days work. They rounding them up. Golly. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Praise God. Look at that. All this in 4 or 5 days. TikTok is off the chain, man. Golly, look at that. Look at my man. My man just at Burger King trying to get him a Whopper. You know what I'm talking about? He at Burger King. Look, they always tell us, stop resisting. Just follow the law. Work hard, and you'll make it in the United States. That's not how it works. No, that's not how it works. There you go. This is purely for educational purposes. He's saying, look. Look at that. Look at that. Black folks are used to this sort of treatment. Yeah, they work hard. That's what they tell. Work hard. Somebody say work hard. All you got to do is work hard. And you can make it in the United States, right? Isn't that what they say? They got that taser. Man, I feel bad for them. This is police action. This is police doing what police do. He said, I didn't do nothing. That's what he's saying. No, they said nada. I didn't do nothing. And now she over there, why you being all rough with him like that, right? Don't stop. Isn't that what they tell black folk? Well, if George Floyd hadn't been resisting, right? If you black folks had just worked hard, right? Isn't that what they tell her? Keep listening. Yeah. He just work hard. Look at him running now. All you got to do is work hard in the United States, right? Just work hard, okay, and you can make it. Right? And that's what they tell us. The black folks that just work hard, okay? Somebody type 1920 in the chat room. Somebody type 1920. Somebody type Red Summer in the chat room. Somebody type Red Summer in the chat room. Somebody type Red Summer in the chat room. Keep going. Yeah.
Warning, being Black, Asian, Hispanic, or any other race will end your life. And do not leave your house if you want to survive, as it's now legal for the government to end you, and it's being done everywhere.
Yeah.
People were terrified after teachers are now warning parents of violent school ICE raids.
They're coming to get the kids out of the schools, and then the teachers have to, and the parents have to come pick them up, and then they arrest everybody and send them home. And not just sending them home. Shout out to my man Blue Baggins. I'm confused. Why are they having this victim mentality? Right, victim mentality. Somebody type victim mentality in the chat. Work hard, victim mentality, stop resisting. Isn't that what they tell us? Isn't that what they said, Trayvon Martin, if he was just more polite, right? If he was just more polite, then George Zimmerman wouldn't have been forced to take his life, right? Isn't that what they say? Somebody stop resisting.
Arresting and ending the lives of all POC students at school. And a child that needs to run. As hunting reports say, ICE is officially racially profiled just those who look like a person of color. Within Homeland Security, leaving a
police aren't racist. Most police aren't. What do you mean? There's no way they're racially profiling them. Police aren't racist. Isn't that what they tell us? Keep listening.
Children saying criminals will be unable to hide in schools now.
The Department of Homeland Security saying on Tuesday, quote, criminals will no longer be able to hide in America's schools and churches to avoid arrest.
They are talking about children, criminals in schools. They're not talking about the teachers. They basically saying children are criminals if they're in school. That's what they called us thugs, though. I mean, I remember they called us super predators. But keep listening. Let's keep on listening.
Unlike before, there's nowhere to run either, as ICE raids used to just happen for 1 week randomly, but now they'll be going on indefinitely, and parents can't remove their child from school fast enough. A lot of teachers are working with their students to help.
Yeah. Shout out to my man Mark, the freelancer. Thank you. So it didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing, right?
And you should talk to them.
It's all fun and games when it's black folks getting hemmed up, right? This is all fun.
So
look at that.
ICE is at Haviland Elementary School at the moment. There's a lot of detectives.
I'm just saying.
CPD here. I don't know how many other kids are left in the school. I know a lot of parents want picking up their kids.
People got to pick the kids up. Families being separated.
You know anyone in this area, 47th and Bishop, that go to the elementary school?
Yeah.
Have someone with papers come pick up their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because this ain't right.
Have someone with papers. You can't even go pick the kids up if you don't have papers. They'll take you to jail. You see what I'm saying? This is where we at. Welcome to America. Somebody type welcome to America in the chat room. Let's keep listening. Keep on going.
Picking up these little minors, these little kids, scaring the shit out of them.
Yeah, well, our kids are scared too. Somebody type Jim Crow. You don't think our kids were scared when they were going to school and whatnot? Yeah. Oh, you didn't know? Oh, yeah. Yes, Lord. Keep going. Look at that. Harassing these folk everywhere. Look, hold on. Let me see if I got another one for you. All right, let's keep listening. Now, let's see if I can get this to play. Yes, Lord. Y'all hit the #1 button if you can hear me. Hit the #1 button if you can hear me. Now, look. So, you know, a lot of people are wondering why black folks are indifferent. Somebody type indifferent in the chat room. Somebody type indifferent for my good spelling.
Mexicans to go back to Mexico.
Look too soon. Hold on. Y'all, somebody type indifferent in the chat room. We gotta get the crowd participation up. Somebody type indifferent in the chat room. A lot of people are wondering why black folks are indifferent. Some black folks are not indifferent. Some black folks are saying, y'all need to go on home. That's what some black people are saying. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, look, y'all said follow the law, abide by the law. And if you just work hard in America, make sure y'all type work hard. If you just work hard in America, then you can have things, okay? If you just work hard in America, you can have things. America is the land of opportunity. And you black folks are just making all this up. I come here, I work hard, and I'm successful. Okay? That's what they told me. Okay, that's what they told me, right? Now I want to show y'all something. Okay, because let me so much to talk about. Let me just go ahead and do my opening. Y'all get the point. You see people catching hell, right? You see that? You see that? People catching hell, and look at that, getting hemmed up. Look at them running. Look at them running them down. That's ICE, baby. ICE is running them down. They running. Okay, running them down. Bam. Look at that. Look at the Pope. That's not even the Pope. Look at ICE. Okay. Look at them running, man. Why are they running? Stop resisting. Somebody type stop resisting in the chat room. You shouldn't run from the police, right? Isn't that what they tell us? They don't run from the police. Why are they running from the police? Why are they resisting? Huh? Why are they resisting? This is what I want y'all to understand. Look how quickly, when it's not a black body being slammed to the ground and chased by the police, look how all the rules change up. Look at how everything changes up when it's not a black body. I find that very interesting. I'm just saying. And I don't want anybody to gloat in these people's pain. We don't want to be ugly. I just want to point out why black folks are indifferent. You see? Because you've seen us go through this for centuries, for decades, for years. And everybody tells us to stop resisting, work hard. And this is not just directed to the Latinos. I'm talking to the Africans and the Black Caribbeans. When y'all just come up in here and say, hey, we can make a lot of money. I don't know why it is if you just work harder. You see what I mean? And that even they running up out of here. You understand me? Even the Nigerians, they work hard. Why? You know what? Look at this. Look at this. I want you to see this one.
Does anybody have a valid visa currently for
Where
the
they
United
going?
States?
Where
That
you?
expires soon. Yes. Are you aware that the very minute
I just want you to understand where this is. This is some Nigerians at the Canadian border, okay? Getting the hell out of America. Somebody type work hard. Work
your
hard.
status in the United States is nullified?
Oh, hold on a minute.
Have
Hold
you
on.
started a refugee claim in the United States?
I thought so. The Nigerians are up here at the Canadian border, and the Canadian immigration said, look, are you sure you want to do this? Okay. Shout out to my man. You're excellent. Are you sure you want to do it? Once you leave America, you are a refugee. Look what they're saying. Somebody type work hard.
Is there a reason why you have not?
What?
Is there a reason why you're choosing not to do a refugee claim status in
Yes.
the United States?
Yes. Why
As
not in
opposed
the?
to traveling to Canada?
Why you coming to Canada?
Yeah, you must not hear from us.
Why are you coming to Canada? You right there in America. All you have to do is work hard in America. If you just work hard in America and follow the law, okay, you'll be fine. Isn't that what they tell us? Racism has not affected me. Isn't that what they say? Keep listening. Keep on learning.
Yes.
Yeah, work hard.
Do you know that there is a legal port not
Yep.
3 kilometers from here where you can enter the country legally through the channels
You know
that
you
are
can.
established? Yes?
You know you can go right down here a couple of a mile and walk in legally. You don't have to do this. You could do it the right way. No, we want to leave America now. That's what they're saying.
This is not a legal port of entry. This is an illegal point. This is not a way to go.
This white woman is explaining the hell out of
You're
them.
trying to go through the channels like everybody else that does.
No,
No, we want to go through this one.
we want to cheat our way into your country.
You're committing an illegal act.
Yes,
Are you
we
sure
know.
that you want the beginning of your life in Canada to start with an illegal
Future in Canada. That's right.
Yes, we don't care. We have got to get out of America, okay? Because Trump is here. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. But I thought that all us Black Americans had to do was work hard. And if we work hard, then guess what? We would have nice things. They wouldn't all of a sudden just arbitrarily change up the rules and the laws like they did in 1920 because they was jealous of us. And then they just went around burning up all our towns and uprooting families. They wouldn't do that. These Black Americans are just making it up. Somebody type work hard in the chat room.
But you can start that same future in Canada at the legal port.
No, we want to go to Canada. Yeah. You Black Americans just don't work hard enough. You make excuses.
I don't have a legal.
Do you have any family in Canada? I don't have a family.
Y'all don't even have family in Canada. Oh, okay. Y'all just gonna go. Okay, I get it. Keep going. Let's keep listening.
This is not a legal port of entry. This is
Y'all are cheating the system.
This is not a way to go. Okay. Is the reason why you're choosing here as opposed to trying to go through the channels like everybody else that does?
No, we want to go through this one right here.
Okay, so you're aware that
We want to go through the illegal way. We don't want to go through the way that we're supposed to do. We don't want to follow the law. We don't do any of that. No, we want to do it the illegal way. Keep listening. But remember, work hard. Work hard. Keep going. That's what they tell us.
Are you sure that you
Yeah,
want
they don't give a damn.
in Canada to start with an illegal
Future in Canada.
Yes, we want it to be illegal. That's what they're saying. I'm just listening.
Yes, please.
Where are we coming from? Which countries? Sorry? Which countries? Nigeria. Okay.
We come from Nigeria.
That should your refugee class status be refused through Immigration Canada, you will be returned not to the United States, but in fact to your home country of Nigeria. I understand. Yes. Okay. So
we're gonna send you straight
correct? You're aware
back
of
to
that?
Nigeria.
The difference is, and I want to be clear though, the difference is if you're refused here, you're returned directly to Nigeria. However, since you have legal status in the United States, if you're refused there, you're returned to the United States. No, I don't want to return back to the United States. Canada here. We want Canada here.
You do not want to go back to America ever again. That's what they say. Ever, ever, ever.
Yes. Clear. You understand what it is again?
Yes. And we believe in this.
Do you have any questions for me?
No questions, sir. All right. Yeah, right.
That Canada can solve our problem. That's why we are here.
Canada can solve our problem. And our problem is we got to get the hell out of the United States of America because Trump is in office and he's going to try to put everybody in jail. So we getting the hell out. That's what we're saying. Yes. Yes, go back.
We want to come into Canada because we know Canada can save our life illegally. That's the way we're here right now.
Yes, Lord.
Everything you just said right now. And that is what we want right now. We want to come in.
We want to come to Canada. Now look, I want you to check this cat out that's about to come up behind him. Look at my man. Look at my man right here. Look at your boy right here. Cell phone, little bag. Look at my man right here. Beep him out. He ain't asking no questions. All of them sitting there politicking with the little white Canadian immigration guard. Look at your boy. Your boy been doing this. This is what he do. Understand me? Look at my man. Look at your boy. No question. He just don't slide right on. Look at my boy. Look, he ain't talking. Gone. Look. He out. He know the law. I can come up here. This is Canada. I'm now headed. There go the rest of them. Leaving the United States. They rolling up out of here. So look, this is not just about Latinos. It's about all the immigrants. Okay? All of you all, and this is why I'm bringing this up. The reason I'm bringing this up, it seems to me like black folks are catching a lot of smoke for not jumping out there supporting people. And people wonder why black people are not all in. Let me explain something to y'all. Let me run something back to you guys in case you didn't understand. Okay, I want you to hear something. Now, Black Americans we're not required to support undocumented immigrants in their struggles. Okay, the view this view comes from the fact that these other, I'm gonna say, marginalized groups have not always supported black people in our fight for equality. Matter of fact, oftentimes you just ignore us. You understand me? You just ignore the hell out of what we're doing, or you say stuff like, just work harder, don't be lazy, okay? And you would have things. They can't understand why we don't have things, even though they walk around our universities, our HBCUs, our communities, our churches. They benefit from the look at all these black mayors around the country who are putting their necks on the line for these immigrants. I ain't seen a white mayor yet say, I'm willing to go to jail for these illegal immigrants. I've yet to see one, but I see all these black people who are mayors, who are elected by black people, willing to stick their neck on the line for folk. You understand me? Now hold up. You need to understand that black people played a humongous role in building the United States before it was even a country. And yet we have immigrant groups who come to this country and look down on us from the day they arrive. Matter of fact, before they even get here, their grandmothers and all these other folks tell them, don't associate with black folks, right? And so instead of showing appreciation for the struggles and sacrifices of black Americans, a lot of these newcomers come and show straight disrespect. Okay, it was the Congressional Black Caucus that helped change the law so that immigrants could begin to come here in the 1970s and 80s. That's why your mother and your father are here. Okay, You're here because we helped lift the ban on immigration from countries with darker people. You understand me? And here's another thing. There's a clear unfairness of how the government resources are given out. Immigrants, they come here and they get access to social programs and opportunities that should first go to Black Americans who've suffered from discrimination for generations. The programs that we have set up, immigrants, whether they be Black or Latino or Asian or whatever, they come slide in and take our spots. Go to some of these Black universities. Go to some of these Ivy League universities. It's filled up with African immigrants saying that they're Black American or saying that they're Black. And so we look at this like, okay, well, you got it. All right, you got it, right? And then you come, but to add insult to injury, then you want to come back and talk stuff and say, if we weren't so lazy, right? Somebody type Red Summer in the chat room. If we weren't so lazy, somebody type 1920 in the chat room. If we weren't so lazy, we would have things. They can't understand why we don't have anything, okay? Right? As if Red Summer didn't happen and thousands of Black towns around the country weren't burnt up. They didn't just all of a sudden decide, well, we tired of these Black people who are basically fresh out of slavery, as far as we're concerned, and have built up all these towns and are doing well for themselves. We're going to get them up out of here. And we're going to burn down all their little towns. And shout out to my man, Eddie B. I'm going to get all my super chats in a minute. We're going to burn up all their little towns and get rid of them. And so guess what? And then we're going to push them back further with more Jim Crow and James Crow. And we're going to make them fight just for the right to be considered human beings in the country that they helped build. Okay? And yeah, you got the nerve to come over here and call us lazy. Okay? Some of y'all even act like you superior to us, and you make it clear to Black Americans, right? That we need to focus on our own needs rather than helping folk like yourself. You see, because Black people, right? We need to be careful when other marginalized groups ask us for help, right? Because see, true support is based on mutual respect and shared struggles. And you don't have any of that for us. Now, if other groups don't offer the same support for Black Americans, we should not feel guilty about focusing on our own community. And in the end, the lack of support from other shows why Black Americans should prioritize our own needs. You can't get mad at us for doing the same thing that you do. That's why the brothers said, we just gonna call ourselves foundational Black Americans. We're gonna call ourselves indigenous Black Americans. We're gonna call ourselves ethnic Black Americans, so that you can go ahead and be African American or Caribbean Black American, whatever you want to be. All right, but they'll know the difference between us and you, since you don't want us in your group anyway. Right? Now, the thing is, a historic relationship between African Americans and Latinos in the United States, it has been marred by significant tension, particularly in urban areas like Los Angeles. And these issues are deeply rooted in historical racial dynamics from Latin America, and they manifest in various forms of discrimination in the United States. Look, shout out to all the brothers who've been traveling around. You've been to Latin America. They have a long history of implementing policies that are aimed at whitening their populations. It's a practice known as blanqueamiento. And this is an ideology that is derived from European colonialism and is sought to maintain white dominance in social hierarchy, even if it ain't no white people around. The governments literally had policies that encourage European immigrants to come and dilute the presence of the Black and indigenous populations. Look at the Miss Universe contestant, whether it's Miss Peru, Miss Brazil, Miss Venezuela, Miss Colombia, all of them look like white women. And that has a lot to do with the whitening, the introduction of Europeans into their country, because they see that as that's their ideal beauty, whiteness. Okay? And on the flip side, Blackness is the opposite of what they want to be. If you look at Brazil, After abolishing slavery in 1888, not 1865 like the United States, but 1888. Some of y'all's great-great-grandparents was alive during slavery in Brazil. What did they do? They subsidized immigration of over 1 million Europeans between 1890 and 1914 to, quote unquote, improve, these are the words of the government, improve its racial stock. The same thing happened in Cuba. They literally invested in recruiting Europeans in the 20th century to come to their island to whiten the population. And see, it's not just they came over there with their whiteness, they also brought a legacy of anti-Black sentiment that persists in many of these Latino communities. And these folk don't leave it in their countries when they come to the United States. Look at the racial tensions in Los Angeles. Shout out to all my Los Angelinos. After you had the influx of Latino immigrants into historically Black neighborhoods, South Central LA, Inglewood, Compton, it had significant racial tensions. We left the South to get away from racial tensions. We come to places like Los Angeles, and then Latinos come, and guess what? More racial tensions. You have Latino gangs, Mexican gangs, El Salvadorian gangs. They are documented in engaging in systematic campaigns of harassment and brutality to try to drive Black residents out of their areas. Shout out to man TIQS. There was a gang, the Azusa 13 gang in Azusa, California. They had a little water park up there. I remember going there in middle school. What we call junior high. The Azusa gang, this is a Latin gang. For decades, they put forth an effort to try to intimidate Black people who live there and force them out the city. That's the KKK. And it took until 2011, the feds had to come in and they literally indicted over 50 members of the gang for conspiring to terrorize Black people. This is in Los Angeles, California. You had another gang, and the police know about it. The city councils know about it. The mayors know about it. But you had another gang called the Avenues. They had a history of hate crimes against Black people. They'd been implicated in multiple violent incidents, including the 1995 murder of a 3-year-old child who was shot, a little girl who was shot in her family's car because they made a wrong turn in gang territory. You see, so and here's the cold part. It doesn't, some of y'all say, well, that's just street gangs. You can't control that. You got the sheriffs in Los Angeles, and they literally have sheriffs, racial discrimination that practice racial discrimination in Black communities in Southern California. So this extended beyond street gangs. This is law enforcement. This is a concerted effort. And they even had investigations that revealed the existence of deputy gangs within the LA County Sheriff's Department, such as the Banditos and the Executioners, which were accused of promoting racist practices and targeting Black residents. So Los Angeles is a city, and then you have Los Angeles County. The sheriffs patrol the county. So within the county, you're going to have Inglewood, you're going to have Compton, you're going to have the city of Watts, but it's really Los Angeles. And these sheriffs would go to places like Compton and whatnot, and they would beat up the Black folks out there, okay? And try to run them up out of there. And this is systematic. This is not just the one thing. And so guess what's happened? Because of these combined pressures of gang intimidation and institutionalized discrimination, they created an environment of fear and marginalization for Black families in sunny Southern California. I'm not talking about the KKK family. I'm talking about Mexican and El Salvadorian gangs. I'm talking about Latino gangs marginalizing Black people. You had an incident in 1991 where a Black family's home was firebombed in Ramona Gardens housing projects by Latino gang members. And that's how severe the threats are. And so these acts of violence are often intended to try to scare and force black people out the neighborhoods. And so it's led to a lot of significant displacement in the community and a lot of fragmentation, as if we don't have enough problems. You understand what I'm saying? Are y'all with me on this? I want you to understand what we're dealing with. So here's the thing. When I hear Latinos complain about black people and us not supporting them, you got to understand, we recognize your racism, family. Can we recognize your racism? We see it for what it is. We as Black Americans are hypersensitive to racism. We see it all the time. Our culture is designed to recognize it on the spot. Now let me segue on over to my Caribbean and African immigrant brothers and sisters. There is a deep, festering issue of intra-racism that exists between Caribbean and African immigrants and foundational Black Americans, FBA, or what you want to call them ethnic Black Americans, or you want to call them indigenous Black Americans, whatever it is. And for far too long, we've welcomed these groups with open arms. Okay, we fought for their rights and we paved the way for their success in our country, and only to be met with condescension, disrespect, and outright betrayal. They'll come here, they'll reap the benefits of our blood, sweat, and tears, and yet they have the audacity to turn up their noses at us. I'm just saying it is what it is. They berate us, they mock our culture, our struggles, and our way of life. And they act as if the systematic oppression that we have faced for centuries in this country is somehow our fault. As if we have not spent generations resisting and fighting and building. But the problem is, every time we build something, they'll tear it down. And they typically, this time, they didn't just tear our buildings down as they did in the 1920s. Now they tore our families down. Okay, and you got these immigrants, and I'm talking about my Black immigrants coming from the Caribbean, coming from Africa, okay? You would absolutely have no footing in this country without the relentless advocacy of foundational Black Americans or ethnic Black Americans, okay? You show up and you quickly forget that it was us, not you, who forced America to open its doors to acknowledge the racial injustice and establish the civil rights laws that you now exploit. You come here and you leverage the economic and social structures that we fought to create, and yet you act as if your arrival makes you superior to us. And see, here's the cold part about it. Africans and Caribbeans, you don't identify with being Black until it's convenient. More often than not, you prefer to cling to your immigrant identity rather than stand in solidarity with us in the struggle against systematic racism. Now, this is not across the board. This is not all Black folk from the Caribbean and the other parts of the diaspora like Africa. It's not all of you, but a lot of you all, okay? A lot of you all turn your back on us when it's convenient and opportunistic. And then when it comes to obtaining resources and navigating employment or benefiting from what was affirmative action and is now DEI, which is now dead, these sort of programs that exist because of our hard-fought battles, then you suddenly remember that you're Black, right? Oh, then you're Black then. You know what I mean? But when it's time to take on the burdens of Blackness in America, when it's time to call out injustice, to stand up for our fallen, or to build Black communities, then you're nowhere to be found. Instead, you distance yourself and choose to side with the very white supremacist system that oppresses all of us. And let's be clear, many of them openly collaborate with the enemy. I mean, let's just keep it 100. Instead of standing shoulder to shoulder with us, they align themselves with the very institutions and individuals who seek to dismantle and erase our progress. They're parrot anti-Black rhetoric, look down on us with an air of superiority, and perpetuate many of these harmful stereotypes that further divide our people. And when it's time, or when it's in the workplace or in politics or social spaces, they're so quick to undermine us, competing for the same little scraps and hand-me-downs and handouts by those in power, while simultaneously criticizing us for not working hard enough. Somebody type "work harder" in the chat room. Somebody type "work hard," and all you gotta do is work hard, right? Right? If you just work hard, yeah, you know, their immigration is not gonna bother us. We work hard. And the next thing you know, they're knocking down your door. Look, man, see, when you're in trouble, when you need the political and social cover that come, then you come running the foundational Black Americans, right? You demand our support, our influence, and our presence when your interests are at stake. You want us to march for you. You want us to protest for you. You want us to use our voices to shield you from the oppression that you conveniently ignored when it wasn't your problem, okay? But once the crisis passes, you just gonna go back into that insulated community, okay? Once again, you're gonna pretend like you separate and above us. I'd love to hear you beautiful Nigerian brothers and sisters from the continent tell us that, yes, Black Americans are doing well, but no, actually it's Africa, it's Nigerians, it's Ghanaian. You don't, when it's time to give us credit, when it's time to be Black, oh no, you whip your flags out then. You whip your Nigerian flags, your Ghanaian flags, your Trinidadian flags, you whip your Jamaican flags out. They're not Black then. Oh no, we going by nationality, not ethnicity then, right? Yeah, man. But this ends. This ends and it ends now. See, Black Americans, and when I say Black Americans, I'm talking about foundational Black Americans, ethnic Americans, indigenous Black Americans. We're going to stop carrying the weight of those who refuse to acknowledge our contributions and who refuse to respect the culture and who refuse to stand with us in our fight. We are the backbone of Black progress in America, and we are the reason Blackness has a voice in this country, and I do dare say the world. See, we have set the foundation, and it's time we stop allowing others to exploit it while showing us nothing but disdain in return. We have always been the pioneers and the ones who forced this nation to change. It is our ancestors who endured chattel slavery, who fought in the streets, who built the movements from the ground up. We didn't come here seeking refuge. We were born into the fight, and we've been fighting ever since. The time has come for us to recognize that not all skin folk are kinfolk. And we must protect our legacy, our interests, and our communities from those who seek to leech off our progress without honoring our struggle. If you can't respect us, if you can't stand with us, if you can't acknowledge that you stand on the ground we fought for, then you're not with us. Okay, foundational Black Americans, whether you ethnic Black Americans, indigenous Black Americans, we no longer gonna be used or abused or ignored. We are the originators, and it's time the world remembers that. Now, I have some more video footage that I would like to share with you all. If y'all with it, somebody type, "Can you dig it?" in the chat room. If you with it, I got some more. Now I want to go back to the Latino folk over here, and this is what they say. Let me let you listen to this. Now, I just read you down why the brothers and why the sisters feel the way they feel. Okay? I just gave you a glimpse of it. Now, towards the end of the broadcast, I'm gonna let the brothers and sisters speak for themselves. But I want you to hear the cries for sympathy that we hear coming from these folk. Okay? And look, I don't have a problem with brown folk. I have no problem with Latinos. I have no problem with Asians or Africans. But see, now you asking us to jump in front of the buses, to jump in front of the ICE, to jump in front of these federal agents and try to help protect you all and your children. This is what you asking us to do. And you wondering why we on the sideline. Or you wondering why some of us are saying, yeah, go home, go home. Go home. And at the end of the day, you need to look in the mirror. See, what you think is a joke, it's a bonding session with a lot of Latinos coming together and talk racially, speak racially negative about black folks. Same thing for immigrants. Black immigrants, you get together and talk bad about us. That's how y'all bond. It's nothing to you all, but it means a lot to us. It is straight up betrayal. So forgive us for letting Donald Trump do what Donald Trump does. Let's listen to this.
It's a crime.
Listen to
it
this.
It was also based on how many people from the black community are telling me to go back to Mexico, telling Mexicans to go back to Mexico because we're illegal and it's a crime. It was also a crime when your ancestors went to Mexico, when they were escaping the white people and Mexico helped them. A lot of Mexicans got killed for that.
Okay. So she's basically saying that back when African Americans would escape and go to Mexico, instead of going to Canada during slavery, we would run to Mexico. And she's absolutely correct. But it was not because Mexico was on some moral high ground. No, they felt the same way about slavery as Great Britain felt about slavery. It was not in their economic interest to maintain slavery in their territorial within the territory of their country because it messed with the economy. So don't get all high and mighty, family. Don't get all high and mighty. We appreciate what you did, but at the end of the day, that was what, almost 200 years ago? How are you treating the Latino? How are you treating the black Latinos or black Mexicans in Mexico right now? That's what I want to understand. How are you treating them right now? You just acknowledged them a decade or so ago. So let's not play with history like that. If we're going to speak facts, let's speak all the facts.
They help your people. We didn't oppress you guys. And this is how you guys pay us
right now in Mexico.
In the past, black people needed Mexicans. Right now, Mexicans.
When did we need Mexicans? When did we need? Where were all the Mexicans when we were getting hosed down in Alabama? Where were all the Mexicans when we were getting beaten in Mississippi? Where were they? I don't even see a lot of Mexicans in when we had all that racial strife in the 1970s when they were bombing all the Black Panthers and whatnot. Well, don't make up stuff, baby. Don't do that. Okay? We didn't know. We don't owe nobody nothing. Because see, at the end of the day, it was just a black and white question in this country until we got the laws changed and they allow you all to come into this country. So keep that in mind.
I need you guys. And in the future, you never know because things change. Sometimes, maybe.
You think it's gonna get worse for black people than it's been before? I think we pretty much been through everything there is to go through. We've been through genocide, slavery, homicide, over incarceration. They flooded our communities with dope. They hit us with psychological technology to make us not even like each other. What more can you do to us? What more can you do to black people that hadn't already been done? Let's keep
the white people are gonna need us. Maybe the black people are gonna need us. You don't know, because God give us things.
Did God tell you to be racist towards black people? Did God do that too? Because that's what I'm trying to understand. What happened to all this anti-black racism that you have?
Maybe the white people are gonna need us. Maybe the black people are gonna need us. You don't know, because God give us things, give us blessings, but He can take them away so fast.
That's what's happening.
So you need to be humble.
You're having your blessings taken away.
You need to be humble.
If you have a direct family member that you're scared of getting deported, join the military if you can. That's really going to help them put in a military parole in place. So my dad was supposed to get deported back to Mexico because he was here illegally and he was supposed to pardon his time. He was already going through a legal system. But if you do not know, when you go through the legal system, you have to pardon your time. So they had no set. They said you could either go for 5 months or you can go for 10, 20 years. And yeah, it's just crazy.
So she got to join the military just so her daddy can stay here in the country. Let's keep listening to this. Look at all these folks. Look.
I am very confused. Trump wants to get rid of birthright citizenship, meaning that if you were born in this country, but your parents were not, especially if they were undocumented, you no longer have citizenship.
Right.
Hello?
Yeah. That's what they did. That's what they do. They changed the rules up on you, sweetness. That's what white folk do to you. That's what they did to us. Now you get.
Would any of us want that?
You guys, there is literally an ICE raid right now on my street. Like, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't even believe that this is happening in my community. I live in an HOA community, and there are ICE trucks.
I live in an HOA community, and there are law enforcement in my town. Oh my God! I thought I was safe.
Down my street.
Yes.
This is wild.
Yes,
you guys.
it is wild.
Like, I'm sorry if I have a smile on my face because it's like,
you
what?
think it's funny. I want you to pay close attention to these white folk. Okay, and I know I got some white folk listening, but white folk would, on one hand, you got one group of white folk trying to get you up out of your house and send you home, and you got another group of white folk narrating and telling you what you should do to prevent this other group of white folk. You see what I'm saying? Like, they play both sides of the coin, both sides of the field. You understand? But this is straight entertainment to them. They don't really care about your pain like that. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. Let's just be honest. Now look at this little lady. Let's see what she got to say. Okay, listen.
The warrant underneath the door.
They telling them, hold on a minute now. Hold on, dude. I want y'all to listen to this. I want you to listen to this. Somebody say, stop resisting. Okay, follow police orders. That's what do they tell us to do?
I cannot see, but holy shit, you guys, this is wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
For anyone that is a non-citizen,
listen.
If ICE comes knocking on your door, what are your rights? I'll explain.
ICE is the police.
That when ICE comes knocking on your door, you should not open that door.
What do you mean? That's the police. You're supposed to open the door when the police come, right? You're supposed to follow lawful orders of the police. Isn't that what they tell us? Stop. You're telling me when the police come to your door, we're not supposed to open the door because even when we're there illegally, is that what you're saying, man? You're supposed to obey the police, and right? That's what we've been told as Black Americans. Let's keep listening.
Oh, we have a warrant to come in, or let us please come in. You can ask them to please slip the warrant underneath the door.
Hold on a minute. The police come to your door and announce that they have a warrant, and then you tell the police to slide the warrant under your door. Are you still telling people not to open the door for a lawful command by the police? That sounds like resisting. And they always tell Black people to stop resisting. That's what they tell us. I'm just saying, okay? It sounds to me like you're giving them the advice that you're telling them to do stuff we don't do. Okay? I'm just saying that. Okay? Let's keep listening.
You examine it and most of the time realize that it is an administrative warrant.
Shout out to Charles Key.
Judge has not signed that warrant.
Oh, you the lawyer now. You differentiating between an administrative judge and a judicial judge. My goodness, you doing all that and you there legally? Golly, man. Stop. That sounds like resistance.
ICE permission to enter into your home. You are not
shout out to Simple Shit TV.
Or allow them to enter, even if they ask nicely.
Hold on a minute. You're telling people to defy a lawful order by the police? Isn't that what we be saying? Why do Black people run from the police? If they wouldn't run, they wouldn't get it. Then what y'all tell us all the time? And now you say don't even open the door.
Purposes. How does this really work? Because ICE is not going to be setting up a tent outside of your home waiting for you to get out, and you're not going to be locking yourself up in your home for days on end. The truth is that at one point you're going to have to leave your home. You're going to get in the car, and then
you telling us to run from the police? Wait till they leave, and is that what you telling us? Hold on a minute. Y'all wasn't telling Black folks that every time Black people run from the police, y'all say he shouldn't have ran. Get popped in the bed. He shouldn't have ran. Shout out to my man, Your Excellence. I'm gonna read everybody's super chat. This is amazing.
Ability to you to ask questions and to detain you if you cannot prove your legal status, or if you're a lawful permanent resident and you're deported.
Wow.
But it does give you some time to get your affairs in order, whether you need to contact an immigration attorney.
Oh, you say resist until you ready to go. That's what you're saying. You resist until you are ready to turn yourself in to the police. That Black people, I wonder if we can give each other that type of. I would never tell. I wouldn't do it. I would not tell another black man, "Hey, man, just don't open the door for the police, even if they have a warrant, because just do that." Oh no! Wow, that is amazing. Shout out to Mark the freelancer.
Documents for a stay of removal if you have an unexecuted removal. Whether you can get your other documents in.
Amazing.
Now you're in the radar and you can take action item steps to.
So when they're looking for you, just go ahead to take steps to run. Is that what you're saying, ma'am? That sounds like resisting to me. So what happened to work hard? What happened to work hard? All you had to do was work hard. Look at this. Now the doggone fruit ain't getting picked. Right? I'm gonna show you something else, right? And I'm gonna get past this in a minute. But look at this. I want you to look. We don't relish in this, okay? Daddy leaving. Shout out to my man Chris Brown, deuces. Look at that. You going home. Y'all, but see here, but as you watch this, I want you to understand that there was a lot of Latino people who voted for Donald Trump. And they knew they had relatives, okay, who were undocumented. A lot of Latino people voted for Donald Trump. Now, I voted for Donald Trump. But I voted for Donald Trump because I don't want to pay a lot of taxes. But I'm in a different situation than a lot of people. Most black people, most of my black American brothers and sisters, they voted Democrat. 79% of black men voted for the Democrats. About 93% of black women voted for Democrats. So if you're going to cry to anybody, you should cry to your Latino brothers and sisters because they voted for Donald Trump, knowing he was going to do what he said he was going to do, and he's doing it right now. So these tears should not be directed towards black folks, because at the end of the day, black people, especially black women, give them some love. The sisters said, oh, hell no. They wasn't ready to see this. And now everybody's got to see it. But this is not something we should feel bad about generally. Now, me, I should feel bad. But I wanted to keep my money. I knew this was coming. I mean, it is. The man said what he was going to do. Said he was going to send them home. Didn't he say that? But keep this in mind. That poor baby is going to grow up without his daddy. Daddy getting sent back or whatever. Separating family. You know what I mean? Separating family, left and right. That's what they voted for. Now listen.
My fear is that I'll get deported to a country that I don't know.
Your home country, baby girl. That's your home country. Look at this dude right here. He was cutting hair. This fella was cutting hair. And the ICE came in the middle of his taper of this fella right there. It looked like he had just got around to just, doing the line, and he was about to fade it in and do that blend real good. And ICE came right on in there and said, no, player, put the clippers down. No, put the clippers down. No, you coming with us. Look at this. This is what they did. This is ICE. They voted for this. Black folks voted for Democrats. Black folks voted for Kamala Harris. Whether you like it or not, this wouldn't have been happening then. But a lot of Latinos voted for Donald Trump. This is what you voted for. And so how you going to come ask us to jump in front of the bus and save you? Y'all ask me.
The thing also that I want to make a note of is that
shout out to my man Rich Turner.
Tickets did get canceled because.
Now I want you to understand this. This is LA during the fire. This is how cold-blooded ICE is. It's houses being burnt down. Shout out to TIQ. Houses are being burnt down. And they out here, people came they rounding them up.
Immigrant family who had to move away from their home because ICE was checking in on them.
And ICE is like a baby mama.
That's so sad.
Yeah. I feel you, baby. Y'all voted for the man.
On top of it, I also want to say that in times of crisis, ICE tends to show up and try to deport individuals.
In times of crisis, ICE shows up, okay, and takes people and deports them. Isn't that? I mean, that's welcome to America. This is the America Shout out to my man, Banzerite Light 1. This is the America that black people have been telling you about. This is the America that, you know, all you have to do is work hard and you can do it in America and racism doesn't affect you. If you don't think this is racism, I ain't seen a Ukrainian get sent home yet. Out of all the videos that I have viewed about people going home, I've yet to see one Ukrainian, one Eastern European get rounded up by ICE in this country that you say racism doesn't exist. Now look, I love my country, but I would be a damn fool if I sat up here and told y'all that racism wasn't as American as apple pie. It is part and parcel of who we are. And about every 100 years, white folk have a racial part. They have a race riot. And they start doing stuff like they did in Red Summer and burn down all our stuff and do all. This is what you see happening. Y'all was getting a little too big for your britches, according to these white folks. And they said, oh no, we're going to break this up. That's what they do. You think they're going to let you do better than them in their country and they have something to do about it? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let's keep listening.
Just because our communities are busy and worried about something else. So just a reminder to that we need to make sure that we come together these next 4 years because we're going to hear more about those stories.
Ooh, it's a long time.
To directly hear that. And
all this is happening in 4 days. What do you think it's going to look like in 4 years? I want somebody to type 4 years in the chat room. This is intent. This is full court pressure. This is Dennis Rodman back in the 1990s. This is Kobe Bryant in his heyday. This is Michael Jordan, game 7 of the series, and in the fourth quarter playing defense. This is what we're dealing with. This is full court pressure right here.
And, you know, be in contact with a family that literally just left and had abandoned their donation, so the driver had to come back. It's really sad.
It's sad.
So we do expect more of that.
Yeah, I just want you to understand. Black people are compassionate people. We understand your pain. It's not that we don't understand. It's just that we are indifferent. Let me give you a rundown of what we've had to deal with. We watched Trayvon Martin. No, before that, Barack Obama ran for president, and up around the minute he hit office, something called the Tea Party Republicans showed up, and they made a promise to themselves that they would not let this black man do anything. The racial animosity went through the roof. I'm talking about around 2008 through white folk cut up and acted a fool. Okay, it just brought all the prejudice out of a certain group of white folk. They cut up and acted a straight fool. You had white folk telling black folk that racism no longer exists because we gave y'all a black president. And so therefore anything that happens to you is just because of merit and you didn't work hard and you're lazy. And so we literally had to deal with 8 years of foolishness. And then to top it all off, Trayvon Martin, who was a young boy, he probably would have been 30 right now. He was walking home with a little drink in his hand and a snack, and he got shot by a man named Zimmerman that tracked him down and shot him, not a police officer, just a regular old dude down in Florida with a gun who thought he looked suspicious. We had another young man who was playing his music in his car. A white man walked up to him and said, turn that doggone music down, and shot him in his car. Had so many incidents back to back to back. Ferguson, all of these. This is what we dealt with. And then to top it all off, we had to watch a black man get choked out for 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Okay, we had to watch that. We had to watch somebody that looks like our uncles, that looks like our relatives. We had to watch that over and over again. So let me just say, on behalf of all black folk, we are exhausted. We endure racism online, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of these different platforms daily. We are exhausted. And for you all to ask us to now come up and step up and jump in front of this freight train that's coming for you, that is just too much. We are tired. Hell, we even tired of each other. Half the time we see black folk arguing with each other. We tired of each other. And you want us to come together and support you, especially considering how racist you have been to us. I'm not just talking about the Latinos. I'm talking about the Black Africans and Caribbeans too. You want us to come from our and Black women are done. I can tell you that now. They are unbothered. Now, oftentimes Black women can kind of get Black men up off the couch. Even now, when we don't really get along. If we see a sister out there, we'll probably come jump along the protest line with her. But they are undone at this point. They are done. They are unbothered. They are not coming to your aid. And if they ain't coming, brothers damn sure not coming. And so this is where we are. And the fact that folk think Black folks are supposed to come out there and be their savior, this is not cool. Keep listening.
Every time we ask for community help to come together on social media especially, it really does create public interest. And a lot of you guys don't know, but creating public interest around an immigration case is important because then authorities
I'm going to just tell you like this. These folk that don't like you, they laughing at your tears right now. I just want you to understand that all this pleading for sympathy and crying, they laughing at you. These are the people that you're dealing with. They are laughing at you. They're saying, good riddance. Get them out of here. That's what they're saying. They are laughing at your tears. So them little tears and them little soft voices that you wonder why Black women are so hard? Because they learned a long time ago that tears don't get them anywhere. They learned that. Black men learn that the only time we get racial progress in this country is when a Black man dies, whether it's Emmett Till, Medgar Evers, Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. That's the only time we get progress, and it is over the sacrificed body of a dead Black man that we make racial progress, even when it comes down to the military. It took thousands of Black men dying in World War I, in the Korean War, and World War II for us to make the civil rights progress. They recognized our sacrifice, and they said, damn, we got to get these Black folks some rights. So it is over the blood and the sweat and most of the blood in the bodies of Black men that we have marched towards civil rights. All that crying ain't gonna get you nowhere, baby girl. That crying ain't gonna get you nowhere. You're gonna have to put it out there, and we not gonna do it for you this time. You're gonna have to march hand in hand on your own now. We are done. We are tired.
Individuals when a story is getting too much attention. And that's how we can protect each other, you know, to make sure that somebody or a family.
You can't protect. It's done. You ain't nothing you can do about it, baby. We'll weather the storm and see what's left. And look at that. We not a heartless people, but the tears are not gonna get you anywhere, baby. Tears are not gonna get you.
Oh my God! No, the Hispanic people are not doing nothing bad. They're not stealing nothing. Can't do nothing but please open the door for the parents.
So this little girl is saying they have taken her parents away and locked her up, and she out there by herself. She don't have nobody that can come take care of her. Look at that. See, that's what she's saying.
I'm so lonely right now. I need my dad for me.
My daddy. And for all you Latinos, this is who you voted for. You voted for Donald Trump. Now, I want y'all to understand something. And you're going to start seeing this video. I know enough about Latino people. A lot of them are like, shh, I'm not Mexican. I'm El Salvadoran. I'm not Mexican. I'm Honduran. I'm not Mexican. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm not Dominican. I'm Colombian. Matter of fact, I'm Colombian, and I came in the country the right way. My parents came, my sisters came, everybody came the right way. So they differentiate themselves between nationalities in addition to who has papers and who don't. So a lot of them don't feel empathetic towards what we would consider their own people, but they're very separate people, very separate nationalities. They share some common languages. Even though the dialect is different, it'd be like us feeling sorry for people who Black indigenous people in Australia. We all are Black melanated people, but we don't know them. Different culture. They're as foreign to us as a Martian, even though we have some common ancestral roots. You see what I mean? So this is what you voted for. Black folk voted for, well, most Black folk voted for Hillary Clinton. Most Black people did. So who is to blame for this? You wanted to vote along with them white folk, you did it, and this is what you get.
My dad didn't do nothing. He's not a criminal. So the government, please put your heart. Let my parents be free with everybody else, please.
I know most black people who look, we feel bad for this we feel bad for this child. We are a loving, kind, wonderful, empathetic group of people. We are some of the most wonderful people on this planet. Black Americans specifically, we empathize with people, we open up, we let you in. We are wonderful people. We are not hard-hearted, cold-blooded people. But at the end of the day, what would you have us do?
Don't leave the child with cryness and everything.
So I just wanted to record this. I'm driving on the 60. There's a white government truck unmarked. It says K9. I think that might be an ICE vehicle right there. You guys, please be safe. Be careful. Stay home. Know your rights.
Stay home. Know your rights. Yeah.
The number one topic that everybody's talking about is TikTok.
I want you to hear this cat. I want you to hear the cold-bloodedness in his tone. Listen to him.
Going away, that everybody's lives is ruined. But man, I'm worried about my family getting deported back to where they came from, gang. What the fuck? Well, they got ICE and Border Patrol, Customs, all that shit coming here to take people from their homes or wherever the fuck. We don't even know what's going on. In all the 21 years that I've been here, I ain't never had to worry about none of that shit. But when I tell y'all, I am the only person documented in my entire fucking family.
You heard what he said. I've been here all my life and I don't have to worry about none of that. I'm the only person documented in my whole family. So I want you to listen to who he blames for getting sent home. Listen to him. Listen.
It's crazy to me how much we take for granted. We literally create our own problems when we literally have a whole land of opportunity, bro.
He's saying he's still on that America's the great. All you got to do is work hard until they change the law and say, if both of your parents was illegal and you came here and they had you and they weren't legal at that time, you were an anchor baby and they say you got to go too, then he going to be saying how unfair it is. This is a Latino fella. Okay, I just want you to understand that. They are still holding to that. All you got to do is work hard and they still have not realized that we live in a racial social class. Look, I love the United States, but let's not ignore history. Let's not ignore what we see with our own eyes. We know what we are. We know what we're dealing with, and you're a fool if you don't realize it by now. This is the fallacy in this young man's thinking. Keep listening.
I know too many people who've had loving families, are in at least middle class, could go to school, go play sports, go get a job. Instead, they become alcoholics, drug addicts, fucking gaming addicts. Motherfuckers don't know how to get up off their ass and go work. I'm sure
work hard. He's still on that work. All you got to do is work hard. Now, they done changed the whole immigration system up. Right. And he said, oh, no, all you got to do is work hard. It has nothing to do with your color. Again, I don't see no Ukrainians. I still have yet to see a bunch of Ukrainians being sent back to Ukraine. I maybe y'all can send me the video. I haven't seen it yet, but let's keep listening.
Y'all understand where your people came from. And I hope y'all know, like, man, they fought so damn hard for you to be here. And if you come here and don't do shit, what's wrong with you, man? I'm not here to instill fear into you, but if your family is undocumented, it'd be great to know your rights and know all the legal advice that you can. So if you guys go down in the description below, I'm gonna leave a good script in English and Spanish just so you guys know what to do in case this situation does end up affecting your family, okay? But man, I'm just praying that nothing happens to my family or yours, but it's going to happen to somebody, and we just gotta be prepared for it. I just hope y'all know that this is exactly why I hustle so hard and why I do what I do. This is
I work hard. This is why I hustle so hard. This is why I do what I do. All you gotta do is work hard.
Daily motivation. I need to make a shitload of money just so I could give my parents the dream that they've always had as children, bro. My name is Menez with the Jack of all trades. Please take care of yourselves and your family. Read the description because it could potentially change y'all lives. So I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one.
He out here doing performative art. He out here doing performative art, and people are getting.
You guys, I'm not even gonna lie.
These
raids happening in Bakersfield are weighing super heavy on me today.
Bakersfield is in California. I would say it's kind of, I would say central, not quite central, but Southern California. And so this is I know the racial attitudes out there. I got some cool Mexican homies I grew up with, but at the end of the day, it's some anti-black racism in those countries, in that part of the country. Keep listening. Keep listening.
And unfortunately, I have experienced deportation firsthand when my parents were deported when I was, I think, 12 and 13 or 13 and 14. I don't even remember. It's been so long.
Fair use.
And that was the hardest thing.
I want you to understand something. It's difficult to watch this. We empathize with people. We do. We empathize with people. We are, as a black man, you know, irrespective of what we've had to endure, and I can speak on behalf of most black men, I would say all black, a vast majority of black men and black women. We are loving, caring people. We don't want to see anybody in pain, but what would you have us do? You voted for Donald Trump. You kind of been low-key racist towards us. Y'all get together and say mean things about us. Well, you ostracize us politically. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just saying. What would you have us do now?
I had ever gone through in my entire life until this day. When I think about that little girl having to say goodbye to both of her parents, it's absolutely heartbreaking.
That's the little one I showed y'all
I literally
earlier.
have a knot in my throat just thinking about it. And more than anything, I feel horrible for these kids because I wouldn't want anyone, not even my worst fucking enemy, to go through something like that.
Well, black folks had to go through that.
I just know I tried my best to be okay and try to come out on top.
Here's the cold part. Black folks had to deal with that just recently. In 1994, there was a senator, you guys might know him, his name was Joseph Biden, and he came up with a law that he called the Biden bill. And then there was a president who came in, and his name was William Clinton, and he signed the law into place. It was called the 1995 crime bill. And this crime bill specifically targeted black men and black women for possession of crack. Now, crack, if you all don't know, is a derivative of cocaine. It's mostly powder and some other substances. And the thing was, the cocaine was not grown in the United States. It was grown in places like Peru and Colombia and such. Shout out to my man Cletus Carter for the first cash out. And what they would do is the government, through the CIA, would bring the dope to the United States through some drug dealers, and then take the money from the dope and buy guns, and they would supply the Contras and these other folk because the United States Congress said, nah, we're not going to fund this. And so they had to figure out ways to do it. Nevertheless, they killed two birds with one stone. We don't ever want these black folks to rise up again. So what we're going to do is we're going to poison their community. We're going to flood their community with dope. We're going to divest all of the plants and the middle class, medium middle class style paying jobs. And we're going to let them tear themselves up because we don't ever want them to rise again. Okay. So we have to have, we've dealt with that. And some of you say, well, those guys went to jail for 3 strikes and they went because they broke the law. They went to jail because they broke the law. Somebody type break the law in the chat room. Somebody type break the law. Those black men and black women were separated from their families because they broke the law. The reason those black children didn't have their fathers is because those men broke the law. Somebody type broke the law or break the law in the chat room. And when you break the law, then your children will be separated from you, right? So if you break the law, because that's what they were doing, right? That's what those men and women who are addicted to cocaine and crack were doing. They broke the law, and so they had to go to prison, and their children got separated. They shouldn't have broke the law, right? That's what happened to black people. And so now let's fast forward to 2025. These folk who came into this country broke the law, and now they're being arrested and sent home. So they're suffering the same thing that black people had to suffer. That's why those children are now don't have their parents, because the parents broke the law. So it's the same thing, but you weren't sympathetic to us, but you want us to be sympathetic to you. It's been plenty of black men and women and children who've cried for the loss of their parents and loss of their children and been separated from family. Look, I'm just giving you what you gave us. I'm all you folk who telling black folks we need to jump in front of this freight train and put our lives and our reputations and our finances online to save people who didn't even want to save themselves. Y'all could have voted for Kamala Harris. You could have, but you wanted to vote white. And you thought that was right. And this is what you got. And then and now you figured it's not. But keep listening.
And I know not everybody is that lucky, and I could have chosen a different route.
Yes,
and
Lord.
All I can say is definitely stay strong if you're having to go through this.
Yes, Lord.
Prove everyone wrong and do the best that you can to get through this. I am 30
hard.
years old. And like I said, it still hurts till this day.
It's gonna hurt.
If you ever need somebody to talk to
We still got
that can
people
listen to
locked
you
up right
and
now.
that can understand you, I
30
am
years later,
here.
they
You
still
can message
locked
me.
up.
My Instagram messages are open. You
We
guys
got
can
black
message
men
me.
locked up 30
Yeah.
years.
It's just crazy to me to think
2 or 3
about
ounces
some
of
of you
crack.
guys.
Shout out to John Patton.
Like, do you guys not think about your own kids? How would they feel? You don't, like, do you really, like, you guys have to dehumanize us to not think that these little kids are the same as yours.
That's what y'all been doing to us. That's what they did to Trayvon Martin. Oh, he had a hood on. He must be a thug. Soon as a black person gets shot, they go comb through his Instagram and his YouTube and the social media to figure out get some pictures on there and blast them. You dehumanize it. This is what we've been saying the whole time, and y'all been telling us all you gotta do is work hard. Somebody type work hard in the chat room. All you gotta do is work hard. Yes, work hard.
Like, how could you not think about these people and these little kids losing their parents, younger than me even?
Yes, we do.
And not empathize with them.
We do empathize with you.
And not realize, like, that's fucked.
With us, fam. You want to be blanqueamento and racist toward black folk.
I don't understand.
I do.
It's just, we live in such a nasty, ugly world, and it sucks, but all we can do.
That's what we've been saying. We live in a mean, tough, angry United States of America, and you all told us, yes, it's the land of opportunity, and you all just need to work hard and stop being lazy and stop complaining and stop having a victim mentality. That's what you told us. And now that you're a victim, you saying, oh, it's a mean, nasty world. That's what we were saying, except we've been dealing with it for about 500 years. Somebody type, work hard in the chat room.
Do is continue to put a foot in front of another and keep on going. And I truly wish you guys all the best.
Yes, Lord. That's what we've been doing. We're doing the best we can.
Decided to open up my DHS mail.
Let's move past that.
Be so for real.
ICE came like at 2:00 in the morning, and my mom always prepared us for this moment, and she was like, un día va a venir inmigración y el día que vengan, ustedes no hablan español.
Shout out to my man. Remember when George Lopez said, don't bring,
a los que vienen. And we're like, okay. So when they came at 2:00 in the morning, they took me
thought
with
white
my
was
sister
right.
and my mom to a detention center. And we
Police the ICE came at 2 a.m, took her and her mama and all of them to the detention center.
in jail with my mom, me and my sister, even though we were born here in America. But that was her whole plan. She was like, no nos van a preguntar si tenemos papeles. Y ustedes son nacidas aquí, entonces cuando they find out, I'm going to call my lawyers and I'm going to sue ICE because they are detaining you guys illegally.
Yeah.
And
so they didn't even ask. They literally just showed up.
No, they just showed up.
They got rights. You know what I'm saying? They coming through with rights. Let's listen to this one. You know what I'm saying?
And then she finally got her papers.
You come to the country and you demanding your rights. I'm just saying.
Waking up to news that mass deportation started today. So
it did.
If you're an immigrant, please know that you have the right and share this too.
I want you to understand. They're used to ICE raiding infrequently. They'll raid a week. And then they'll leave it alone for 3 or 4 months and they'll raid a week. They don't usually do back to back to back to back to back. You can't live like that. They showing up they coming back like cockroaches, man. ICE is coming through like a bad case of herpes. Oh, understand what I'm saying? They are not giving up. They coming back. Can't get rid of. You understand me? They like, what? We not used to this. We used to flare up every 6 months. ICE is coming through like a venereal disease. They are coming back to back to back. You understand? They coming for you. And this got them in tears, man. They like, nah, these are different tactics.
Everyone that you know, so everyone's aware. You have the right to remain silent. If ICE knocks on your door, you don't have to answer it.
Hold on a minute.
Do not.
Are you another person saying that if the police knock on your door, you don't have to? What happened to observing and following the instructions of the police officer? What happened to if a police officer gives you an instruction, you're supposed to follow it and deal with it in court? What happened to that? This sounds like resisting to me. Sounds like resisting.
Consent to any searches if you do not have a warrant signed by a judge. They don't even have the right to be in your property. So please remain silent. Do not sign any documents, especially if you do not understand. If you are in public and ICE stops you,
don't sign any. What about when black people don't want to sign off on the documents when they trying to give it to you? Look up now. Look, what happened to all that back to blue? What happened to all that? What happened? Because that's what y'all tell black folk all the time. I mean, I'm just asking you questions because I want to know. And I know the people want to know because this is not the advice you're giving us.
Please remain silent. You do not have to disclose your immigration status. They do not have the right to search your belongings or your bag without a warrant.
That's what we say, but they do it anyway.
You don't have to answer.
And you say we shouldn't resist that. That's what you tell us. And now you telling your people to resist. But you told my people stop resisting. And that's why they get shot and beat up. That's what I'm just saying. I'm pointing out what I see. It is, but don't run from it. Don't run from it. Keep listening.
More than 500 people just yesterday, which is
they are rounding them up. Keep listening. Hold on a minute.
They're doing better than Americans themselves, and that's why they're so triggered and want us to.
Here is real. I want y'all to listen to this fella, for real. Listen to this fella right here. All right, I want you to hear him.
And may request identification to establish an individual's identity.
I want you to listen. Pay attention to this fella, right? I want you to listen. Fair use. Listen.
I saw a post that said immigrants are doing better than Americans themselves, and that's why they're.
Did you hear what he said? He basically said we jealous. Listen to him again.
Now we have heard from ICE specifically about that allegation, saying, quote, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement may encounter U.S. citizens while conducting field work and may request identification to establish an individual's identity.
Now listen to my boy.
I saw a post that said immigrants are doing better than Americans themselves, and that's why they're so triggered and want us to leave. As you guys know, I'm a DACA recipient who also.
I saw a post that said Americans are jealous because immigrants are doing better than them. And that's why they want us to leave. You hear that? I am a DACA recipient. Listen.
Works as an immigration paralegal. And listen, when price of eggs went up, you know what my mom did? She went out and bought 100 chickens. Now we have unlimited.
The price of eggs went up, so I just went out and bought 100. My mama went out and bought 100 chickens. And, we solved the problem because we're self-sufficient. America is the dreamland, blah, 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 blah. Keep listening.
Eggs, and we still sell them. The thing about immigrants is that we will always make a way, and y'all mad.
The thing about immigrants is we will always make a way, and y'all mad. You hear that? So it's our fault. They're just better than us. That's what that comes across. And you know what? You might be right, sir. You might actually be right. You might be better than us. But in the United States of America, there was a group of people who had come from the bottom of the social racial caste system. And these people actually never even asked to come to this country. These people were brought to this country against their will, forced to work for over 200 years for free. Okay, for no money. Then, with no education, no knowledge, anything like that other than their hands and their backs and their feet and their legs, they came together. And from the time they were released, which was about 1865, I'm just kind of making that date up, they began to work, and they built universities for their children. They built colleges, they built towns, they built roads, they built businesses, they had homes, communities, they had churches. And then the people who they were once inferior to recognize that this group of people are better than us. And though that group of people who used to be superior or have been trained to believe they're superior got so angry and jealous that they just went and burned all the people's stuff down and made them start all over again, and then did everything they could to keep them from coming up. Shout out to Marcus, brother Marcus' sister. That is called Red Summer. They literally, white folk, literally, whether we talking about Red Rosewood, whether we're talking about Oklahoma City, not Oklahoma, shoot, somebody named that name, Oklahoma, the burning in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. They burned all these towns down because they didn't want to see our success. And that's what's happening to you. And that's what we've been talking about. Every time we come up as a people, every time we build something in this country, the group of people that feel as though they're supposed to be better than us, tear it down. You all have done very well for yourself, the immigrant communities, whether black, white, Hispanic, or whatever. You've done very Asian, you've done very well for yourselves. And you've done so well for yourself that you've aroused the attention of the dominant party, the dominant group of people. And they are jealous. And they're a jealous group of people. And now they're doing everything. They over there strung out on meth, can't get jobs, and they feel like you coming up here taking their opportunities, so they don't get rid of you. That's America. That's what we've been trying to tell you. It's not fair. You got to do a lot more than just work hard. You got to recognize where you are. Let's keep listening.
Increasing population of immigrants getting degrees and, just bettering their lives are scary too.
They see you getting degrees and driving nice cars and having good lives in their country. That's what they see. And now they're jealous of you. And now they're going to gun for you. And you done put your face out there and told everybody you're a DACA recipient. All they got to do is change the law. Just a stroke of the pen. Keep listening. Keep on listening.
For generation. Anyways, I'm going to add my Instagram here for immigration. If you guys need help or contact or any resources for immigration, check me out on there.
Yeah, man. This is America. Somebody type, this is America. Somebody
and it's crazy. All throughout the United States, people are afraid. They're afraid of getting deported. I seen somebody post on Facebook that people on the rigs are taking back roads to avoid ICE and immigration. But I'm going to say something. You were here for 30 years. A lot of y'all were here for 30.
I told you all that there are Latinos out there who don't feel sorry for these other Latinos and Hispanics because they said you've been here and you didn't do what you had to do. Okay? But see, here's what I want you Hispanic for. I'm going to give you a bit of advice. The stroke of the pen is why these people are gone now. The stroke of the pen is why you'll be next. If you are somebody whose parents are illegal, even if you're a naturalized citizen, they're already trying to revoke birthright citizenship. So if you're born here to two illegal parents, they're trying to undo that. How difficult do you think it would be to undo some of the naturalized citizens that have come here? Oh, you committed a crime. We're going to take your citizenship away and send you back to the country of origin. Literally you got your papers and everything, social security number, all that. They're going to send you. It's just a matter of the stroke of pen. I don't care what these lawyers say. I don't care what, they don't know the history of this country. Have you ever heard of Dred Scott? We actually had rights. Did you know black people own slaves? We own property. Dred Scott came along and threw us back 100 years. That's what they were angry with the lawyer that brought the Dred Scott case, the other black lawyer. Damn, fool, why'd you do that? This wasn't a good case. We told you not to do it. Threw us back 100 years. Shout out to my man, James Graham. These immigrants are delusional. They were never better. And now they're feeling what we are going through. Wear the shoe. Yeah, it's your turn to be black. That's what time it is. It's your turn to be black people. Listen to this fella though. He is not holding back.
Years your parents were here for 30 plus 40 20 years. They never got their papers. They never learned to speak English, and now they're afraid of getting deported because they're here illegally. Now everybody calls me a traitor to my race and all these words and derogatory slurs. I don't give a flip. This is what we voted for. We voted for Trump to do what he's doing, and elections have consequences.
Now, if that Hispanic man did you hear what he said? This is what I voted for. So I'm just going to say on behalf of all the black people, if your own people are saying this is what they voted for and they expected this to happen, how can you then come crying to black people and tell us that we as Black people have done you a disservice because we don't want to jump out in front of this freight train that's coming. We fought our battles. We fought our battles. You all sit around and talk so bad about us, but you don't realize the reason that we are the way we are is because of the scars and deformities that we have as associated with all the abuse that we've had to deal with to get to where we are now. That's why we are the way we are. You think anybody would want to be like this? Children and wives and husbands, and just the difficulty that we even have as a group. We don't want to be like this. If we lived in a happy, healthy environment, don't you know we would be happy, healthy people, as loving and caring as we are anyway? We still look at all the beautiful music that we've created. That's what's on the inside of us. We are wonderful people. But look at the environment that we've had to live in. This man just sat up here and said, this is what we voted for. And this is a Hispanic man. So how can you then tell us that we owe you something when your own people are saying this is the intention that they plan for? Y'all make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. Make sure you do that. We got a good bit of people in here. We got like almost 1,300 people in here. Subscribe if you hadn't already. Subscribe. Take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel. Okay? Keep hitting the one button.
Don't be upset now that you took forever to get your paperwork in order and you never did it.
In other words, there's nothing wrong with America. There's something wrong with you. You didn't do it right. You should have followed the law. Somebody type follow the law. He has no sympathy. That's what I see. Keep listening.
Now, Tom Homan said that if they catch you during these mass deportations, you're going to get a 20-year visa ban for anybody caught.
The white man told you, the real American told you, if you don't do it the right way, if you don't follow the law, you're going to be punished. So you were warned. It's nothing to do with racism. You were warned. Even still, I've yet to see any Irish or Scotsman or British people being sent back. I haven't seen any Ukrainians yet. I'm just saying I haven't seen. Maybe y'all can show me. Keep listening.
So my advice to anybody here illegally is to self-deport. Because if not, and they catch you in the mass deportation,
go home. This Latino dude is telling the other Latino people, go home. He says self-deport. You go home. So they just up and leave, their families and children just leave. That's what he's telling. This is the advice. So you mad at Black people for saying, hey, go home, but you got Latino people out here telling you to go home. I mean, I'm just saying, fam. I mean, you know, what do you want us to do?
Deportations, 20 years, bam. Yeah. So like I said, quit crying, quit complaining. Every country has laws and borders, and we need to respect every country's laws and borders, right? I'm not going to go do the same thing y'all do in America to Mexico or any other country. Really, I ain't going to try Poland. They don't play over there. The point is, though, everybody's mad and crying and afraid. But let's be honest. You need to take accountability for your actions, or should I say your inaction of getting your paperwork in order. Also, I heard that visas are being declined. Yes. People that are working at Walmart, of all places, I've heard, went to get their visas extended and they were denied. Trump's denying all visas is what I've heard, and people don't know what to do. Hey, that's what happens. Again, elections have consequences. We need to do better in this country. We need to enforce our laws, and we need to protect our.
We need to enforce our laws. You hear them? This is Latino people talking to other Latino people. None of my business. So I'm supposed to feel sorry. At the beginning of this video, you saw this young lady say it was Black people telling Latino Mexicans to go home. Now you got a Mexican dude telling Mexicans to go home. So, I mean, what would you have us do? Okay.
Southern and northern border.
Here's what happens when you get deported, what you can expect when you're dropped off and where you will be dropped off. Number one, ICE will not tell you that, hey, today's the day that you're being deported. They will not allow you to make arrangements. Your family will not know where you're being dropped off. You will not know which border you're being dropped off at until you're dropped off there. You're not flown back to wherever you came from. You are dropped off at the border that is the most cost-effective for the U.S. government on foot. In my experience, I was dropped off in Juarez.
Damn,
and I was dropped off with a small luggage solely because my mom was very resourceful, insistent, and she pushed for ICE to drop me off with my luggage. The small luggage was my lifeline for a couple of weeks. It had essentials. Anyway.
That's all you got. Well, you know, baby girl, I mean, it is what it is, you know. But anyway, look, let me explain to you all what this is all about. And I got the I got one more coming. I'm gonna have to let black people speak. But at this point, I want you all to truly understand what this is about. Okay, are we ready to learn? You ready to learn something today? Are we ready to learn something today? Let me give you a little game. How many of you all on the stock market? Raise your hand if you're on the stock market. If you're on the stock market, you play the stocks, raise your hand. You understand how trends go, right? Okay. So, how many illegal immigrants do we have in this country right now? All right. Now, let me give you some facts. Let me give you some backup facts. Barack Obama, in his 8 years as president, he deported more illegal immigrants than anybody else. I think it was 2 million. Took him 8 years to do that. Okay. 2 million. There are about 14 to 20 million. I've heard Marco Rubio say up to 20 million. The conservative estimates are there about 14, 15 million illegal immigrants. Do you all think that Donald Trump can deport 14 to 15 million people in 4 years? Mind you, you got some planes. They might 80 people a trip, right? Do you think they can deport 15 million people in 4 years? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think you can deport 15 million people in 8 years. So what are they doing? What's the first thing they do? Shout out to my man. We're gonna learn something. Charles Keys Sr. What do you think? What are they doing? First thing, they raiding these people's houses, and where are they taking them? Where are they taking them, family? They're taking them to detention centers. What is another word for a detention center? Huh? Starts with J, rhymes with male. Jail. Right? Prison. They taking these now we might not be able to deport 14 to 15 million people. But well, guess what we can do? We can put them in prison. We can put them in jail, right? Awaiting their deportation. We can do that, right? Can't we? We good at jail. I mean, black folks can tell you America has always been good at jail, right? So now what's going on in jail these days? What do we know different about jail? In jail, number one, well, slavery ended because of the 13th Amendment. And the 13th Amendment reads as follows. It says that slavery is abolished throughout the United States and ended involuntary servitude except as punishment for convicted criminals. Somebody type free labor in the chat room. Listen. The 13th, let me put this out here. I want you all to understand this, get this good game. Uncle D always gonna give you the angle that you didn't see. I'm gonna put it up there. This is a brief statement. You learn some, hit the number 1 button when you learn some. Some of you who are smart in the front, you already know where I'm coming from. The 13th Amendment in the United States Constitution, adopted in 1865, abolished slavery throughout the United States and ended involuntary servitude except as punishment for a convicted criminal. Okay? Think about that. So what does that mean? What do you think we doing here? Some of you all been in jail. You know what prisoners do. What do they do in prison? They work. How much do they get paid an hour? A few cents? Don't they? They get paid a little bit of money. But the money is in housing them. The money is in feeding them. Yeah, they can do products, but can you imagine if we have 14 million people locked up indefinitely for free labor? You see that? Now, you have to understand something about America. America is a capitalistic society, which means you always have to have this pyramid. The people on top who rule and a large group of people at the bottom who are either fourth class, third class, fourth class citizens who work for free, who are compromised. Shout out to my man, John Patton, with no rights. You understand? And so you got all these people. Let's lock them up. Let's put them in prison. Let's make them work for free. Because black people ain't going to jail like that. We got more black men in college than we do in prison. And it's a lot easier to get in prison than it is college. So we've been working hard. We've done well for ourselves. Black people are too sophisticated at this point. 60% of black men have reached the middle class, upper middle class, or they are rich. We ain't going to prison no more. Brothers out here reading books and doing computer science, traveling overseas. We ain't got time for crime. Brothers are barely going out these days. Oh, you're learning something. So shout out to my man, the contract. Thank you for the cash app. Thank you for everybody for the super chat. Let's dig in deeper. So what else do we know about the modern prison industrial complex? Now, there was a time, let me give you a hint. Prisons used to be run by the state. Matter of fact, they used to call them state prisons, federal prisons. But now they are what? Privatized. Somebody type privatized in the chat room. Somebody type privatized in the chat room. Prisons are privatized. They are big business. Somebody type big business in the chat room. Somebody type big business in the chat room. Prisons are privatized. And you know what else? These companies that run these private prisons are on the New York Stock Exchange. Damn, hold on a minute, Uncle D. What are you saying? How about this, Trump? How about the day you get in office, you revoke all these immigration laws, let us use the federal and state task force to round up all these immigrants, and we will put them in our detention centers, and we will hold them indefinitely. And then what we can do is we can get money allocated to fund their housing, food, resources, whatever, and the American public will go for it because we're getting rid of a problem. There's no way we can get rid of 14 million people. We can't. Obama was only able to send home 2 million in 8 years. You're not going to get all these. Maybe we can get 2 at best, but we can house them. And so, and we'll tell the people we're getting free labor out of them. But in addition to that, we're going to make a lot of money. How? Because this is, golly, our stock prices will go through the roof. I want y'all to follow this trend. Somebody type trend in the chat room. Let's take a look at the trend. Can y'all see that? Let me make it a little bigger. Look at that. Hold on a minute. Look what this was selling. Do y'all see that? Who's on the stock market right now? Who? Can you see this trend? This is a 5-year trend. Right now, this stock is selling as of January 24th, 2025. And mind you, Geo Group Incorporated is one of these privatized prison companies. They build prisons, they house prisoners. Okay? They are now selling at $33.07 a share. This is where they were in 2021. $9. 2022, 2023, $7.51. Now look at this. Hold on a minute. Trump is running again? Now I want y'all to look. Look, April 26th. We still at 14. Is Trump, will he win? I don't know. Will he win? Hold on a minute. Is he going to win? Hold on a minute. August? Look at August. August, they still selling at 14. September, $12.96 a share. October 4th, $13.41. Hold on a minute. October 15th, $15.20. What day did we vote Trump in? What day was that? What day was it that we voted? Somebody type it in the chat room. Hold on a minute. Bam, October 25th, $15. And then all of a sudden, on November, oh shoots, I done messed around. It was getting thrilling. Let's get back to it. 5-year trend. Here we are on November 1st, it's still selling at $14. What do you think happened on this date to get this to raise up to this high? What do you think happened? What happened? All of a sudden on November 8th, this price of this stock shot up to $25. And then it went to $28 on November 22nd, and then $28.51, and then it shot all the way up. What happened on January 17th? $35. What do you think happened? Somebody had a conversation with somebody, and somebody said, we're going to make billions of dollars housing these illegal immigrants in our jails. And just so you know, Geo Group Incorporated is not the only company that is into privatized prisons. So this stock went from selling at $12 to damn near $33. It damn near tripled in price. Because of what? Because prison is big business. You don't know what this is about? Most of these people that we are arresting aren't going to get shipped home. Most of these people are going to be in prisons working for free, and we're going to be paying for them, the taxpayers, and this company is going to get rich. And so is this company. Look at this one. It's selling for $21 a share. Now I want you to, let's slide back to, so you can see what it was selling at last year. What happened? Look at this same trend. $14, $14, $11. And the closer we get to November 4th, look at that. Now on November 7th, it went from $13 to $22 a share. Damn near doubled in price. You understand what I'm saying? Can you dig it? This is where we are. This is where we are, family. So what they're going to do is they're going to take these people, they're going to lock them up, they're going to house them. They're going to, the prison industrial complex is going to make billions of dollars housing these people, and you're going to pay for it because you want to keep them locked up. And we know all the racist people out there want to keep these Latinos and whoever else locked up. We want to keep them locked up, and you're willing to pay for that. So again, the globalists win again. They plan you on your racism. Oh, wow, we can get them. They'll pay a pretty penny. Let's go ahead and buy some of these stuff. You can be absolutely certain that all the Democrats are also investing in these stocks. I'm just saying, it is what it is. Just money to be made, right? So even though you need to they always say, follow the money. That's the money right there. That's where the money is going. They're not going to be able to send 14 million people home to these different countries. They're going to lock them up and keep them there. They're going to make plenty of money there. Nevertheless, fam, my brothers and sisters have had a lot to say. They want to voice their opinion on this subject, and I think we have a right to do it. Let's hear from the horse's mouth. Just so you all know, it's not just me saying this. Black people are tired, and they have a lot to say about folk asking them to come in and jump in front of this freight train. Listen to our people talk.
I've been a black man a long time. Hell, I even named my name a Black Man Thoughts. We got people on this app talking about what's going on, why y'all not helping us? This could happen to you. To all the people that's non-black that's complaining about Trump with this deportation thing, we've been dealing with racial profiling. We've been dealing with. Did anybody see the old videos of the civil rights era with the water hoses and German shepherds? We've been dealing with this.
Yeah.
Not one time have I seen the Latino family or all these different people. Not one time I ever.
Remember that young lady said, we help the black people? No, you weren't there. I look at those videos, just black folk dressed up in their Sunday best. Few white folks here and there, but it was mostly black people dressed in their Sunday best. And if you were there, it was too few of you to notice. So stop trying to revisit history.
Okay. Seeing those people say, yeah, we're going to stick up and help fight for our black brothers and sisters. Never seen a video from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to the 2000s. I never seen a video where they say, okay, Mexicans for blacks or Latinos for blacks. I never seen the video. So why are y'all talking to us right now? I don't get it. Black Man Thoughts 2.0, and I'm out. Peace.
Fair use.
I see a lot of people running in the ICE raids, and I want to share with you guys what you told us when ethnic Black Americans were struggling with the police. I want to share the same things that you told us. Please comply. Please follow the officer's instructions. You should not run at all. You should let justice and you should let the legal system handle it. The legal system will take care of that. So it's very
Somebody type, just comply in the chat room.
important that you comply and do what the officer.
Remember when I told y'all black women were done? This is black women right now. They are done. Keep listening.
Tell you to do. There should be no running.
Ooh, don't run. Ooh. Damn. Somebody type damn in the chat room. Cold-blooded. Keep going.
So I decided to keep my daughter home because she had a little bit of a fever. So I go across the street to Walgreens to grab her some Tylenol. I see 3 undercover cops. They look like undercover cops to me, but I didn't think none of it. So I left Walgreens. I went to 7-Eleven real quick to grab me a French vanilla frappuccino real quick. So I go in there. I see 4 more.
I want you to people getting swooped up and she buying French vanilla cappuccino. I told you, black women are done. You hear me? They are done. They are on off. Okay, I'm just saying. And the sisters know. They know I speak the truth. Sisters are off. They're not. White women tried to get them to come. Come on, girl. They not. They done. Y'all let them down. They almost had their first almost black woman as the president, and y'all was like, no, they are done with you for at least 15 years. Keep listening.
Right, so I asked one of them. I was like, hey, are y'all undercover cops? Because I just seen like a couple of y'all up the street at Walgreens. And he was like, something like that. He was like, we're here from out of town working. He was like, but have a great day. You could tell he wasn't trying to tell me too much. But I was being nosy as hell at this point.
Yeah.
So tell me why I get home. My neighbors are immigrants, right? They packing their shit up. They've been packing their shit up for the last 3 days. They said that they're moving to the Southlands area because they are tired of seeing these Venezuelans over here, lurking around.
Them Venezuelans are like the trannies of the rainbow community. Them Venezuelans messed it up for all the immigrants. The Venezuelans, they took it over the top. I'm just keeping 100 with you. Like, we were cool with mostly everybody else, but those Venezuelans, when they came here, they messed it up for all y'all. That's what they did. Like, it's the same thing the trans community did. Yeah, everybody was cool with the rainbow rights, but when them trans hit the scene, they pushed it too far. That's what happened. I'm just saying, history will say that the Venezuelans messed it up for everybody. Keep listening.
Late at night. And I don't see them over here. But when I do my comedy shows and I get home late at night, that's when I be seeing these motherfuckers lurking around. So I be having my taser, my pepper spray on that, and I hurry up and I run to the house because my son is watching my daughter for me when I be doing my shows. So it hit me. It hit me.
That was real slick. She said, my son be watching my daughter. That's because our baby daddy is listening to that. Who watching our baby when you out there doing that? That was slick, baby. I see you. Good job. You get your hand clap.
And you're U.S. citizens and they born here, they are not considered U.S. citizens. Like, everybody getting sit the fuck back at this point. And so it makes me nervous for the people that I know that are hard workers, that are genuinely here trying to get their paperwork done and trying to get their paperwork in order. Those are the people that I feel bad for. The only people I don't feel bad for is these damn Venezuelans, because they do be out here lurking at night and they do be into shit. They be touching people's shit, stealing people's cars. They do be out here doing the most. Those are the only motherfuckers that I feel like gotta go. But everybody else, y'all please be safe, because ICE is out here in Denver.
ICE is out here.
Be safe and stay out the way. And I know y'all ain't gonna see them damn Venezuelans trying to clean them damn windshields today, because ICE is really out here. Be safe, y'all.
They did it. They messed it up for all y'all. I'm just saying. Keep going. Come on, baby.
What's going on, y'all?
Now I want y'all to listen to my man.
ICE and deportations. Before I start, it's just my opinion. If you don't like what I'm about to say,
shout out to my man just for my sense.
Also, I'm not making this video out of hate. I want to be very clear with that. But we all see that ICE have a lot of raids going on in the U.S. All right. So let me start by saying this. If someone is in this country illegally and they are wanted for murder or something like that, I believe they should be arrested and deported. Okay?
Yeah.
If someone is in this country illegally, first, I don't think they should be illegally here. But if they are illegally here and they are not a criminal, they're not committing crimes, they're not selling drugs, all they're trying to do is help their family survive legally. Okay? If that's the case, then I can understand that. I'm 45 years old and I just found something out. There are children in this country that are here illegally who go to public schools. I just found that out today, and I feel ignorant. Like, why didn't I know this?
It's okay.
I like to dig to the bottom of things. Why didn't I know this? There are illegal, however you want to put that, no disrespect, I don't know how to put it. Children here,
brother going out of his way to be as judicious as possible. He going out of his way. He trying to get it out, and he's trying to, he trying to be sensitive. Black people are trying to be sensitive to your situation. The brother's being sensitive. Keep listening.
Illegally, who go to public schools. That's so scary because can you imagine a child being in school and ICE comes to the school?
Yeah.
And says, okay, yeah, we got your parents. Now we're getting your kids. That's scary, man.
Yeah. We empathize with the kids.
I have to address this. There's a big divide between the Black and Latino community.
Listen to my brother.
And if I'm going to tell the story, if I'm going to say it, I have to be honest with you.
Tell it.
I have to be
Tell
honest. I have experienced a lot of racism with Latinos in my life.
See?
I worked in a construction site.
Listen to him.
People treated the Latino construction crews real bad.
And who came to
stood up for the Latino?
We stood up for them.
Me and the other black people stood up for them.
Yep.
So when I start to see in reverse, Latinos didn't really like black people, I said, man, that's messed up. Because me as a human, I don't want no families broken up.
We don't want to see that. We good people.
That's one thing I do not want.
We don't want to see that.
I don't want someone illegally in this country but not committing crimes, any other further crimes. I don't want them to be broken away from the.
He just acknowledged that being in this country illegally is a crime, and then he said further crimes. So everybody needs to recognize that being in this country illegally is a crime. You already committed a crime, but even still, we know how unfairly these laws are directed at people who are non-white. We know how unfairly these laws have been directed at black people. So we still empathize with you. But y'all tell us if we speeding and got a headlight and end up getting shot and killed, we shouldn't have resisted the police. That's what y'all tell us. My man just sat up here and say, look, I had Latinos back, but then they don't have our back. He said that we stood up for the Mexicans. We stood up for the Latinos. This is what this brother is saying on the construction sites. I want y'all to think about that, all of you all who are wondering why black people are standing down. Keep listening.
Families. That is a very serious issue here. I was looking at a video, okay? It was a young Latino man coming from another country, okay? Coming to the U.S. And he said he was talking to his abuela, his grandmother.
Yep.
And she said, whatever you do, stay away from those black people.
Uh-oh.
They're dangerous.
Uh-oh.
He said, well, how do you know? You don't know any black people.
That's the same thing that those Caribbean and African parents tell their children about black folks. Stay away from those black people. Tell the truth. I've heard y'all have these conversations. Keep listening. They don't have no culture. They're violent. I watched them on CNN and news. Look, fake news. Keep listening.
She said, because I seen it on TV.
Seen it on TV.
And I believe a lot of people are getting the bad impression of black people.
Yes,
because
they
believe
are.
it or not, black people have paved the way for a lot of Latinos to be here. And that's why we've been so supportive of you all.
Yep.
I want to get that through y'all head. A lot of black people have been supportive of Latinos because we've been through it. So now when ICE is coming around and all of the deportations, that's destroying families.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said before, and if I'm gonna tell the story, I have to tell it.
Tell it.
This ain't about me, but I have to tell it.
Tell it.
As much as I have been disrespected,
listen to this, brother,
by Latinos,
woo,
I still do not want nothing bad to happen to these Latino families.
You see how wonderful we are as a people? Shout out to all the black men. You see how much heart and love we have for people? As this man has been treated poorly by Latino folks, had to deal with the rest of it, he still don't want to see you done dirty like that by this system. You all really should look back, all of you immigrants, now that you are dealing with this, now that you're getting a little taste of what we had to go through for over 250 some years and another almost 100 years of Jim Crow and what we still deal with now, you really, really, really should thank your blessings you didn't have to go through what this got you crying. This ain't been going on but 4 days. Imagine 400 years of this. Imagine that. And we are still here. We are the roses that grew up through the concrete. You so busy paying attention to our scars, you haven't looked at our accomplishments. We are still here after dealing with genocide and all sorts of brutality and all sorts of assaults on every orifice of our bodies and our minds. And we are still here. And we paved the way so you can be here. You dare not say anything negative about black folks ever again, asking for our help. And we still have the heart to do it. Keep listening.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've been disrespected, racially discriminated against in your life, you don't want that for no one else.
We don't.
You don't want it. I don't want it for the Latino community.
We don't.
I wish you had more respect for us, truthfully. But I'm not gonna hate y'all. All the stuff
we
I've
don't
been
hate.
with y'all,
We're
I'm
not
not
a
gonna
hateful
hate
people.
y'all. I
We're
want
not a
your
hateful
families
people.
to be strong. I want your families to be together.
Yep.
Like I said, if you're a wanted murderer,
you got to go.
Then you should be punished.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
You got to go.
But if you're in this country working in a factory or working in farmland or working in construction or whatever, and you're here illegally just trying to make a living for your family.
You hear the brother?
Help them get here.
This sister right here, she's something else, man. I want y'all to listen to this sister again. Y'all hit the number 1 button. Shout out to my man Cerebral. Hit the number 1 button if you can hear me.
Wall.
Listen.
Who still don't want nothing bad to happen to you and your families. You know what I'm saying? Think about that before y'all get mad. Think about that. Thank you for your time.
Okay, so public service announcement. People of color.
Somebody typed the cape is off.
Who come to this country.
People
as
of color.
Groups have chosen white supremacy
over
supporting ethnic Black Americans that permitted them or helped them get here. We fought for all people to have an opportunity here.
We sure in the heck did.
America became this place where all these different groups were able to come and get success.
They ban Africans from coming to this country. The signs that used to say no colored people also said no Mexicans, no dogs, no Irish, a whole lot of other. It wasn't just Black Americans, it was just the American Negro. We made it so all y'all can be here. And it was very recent. It was within my lifetime that these laws were lifted to allow immigrants to come from these other. The cape's off. Y'all show very little appreciation. Aside from some friendships and relationships that we've had, you look, man, we could be cool with anybody. Black, African, Caribbean, Mexican, Latino, whatever. We can be cool with you. But as a group, y'all have not been helpful to us. You've literally worked against us in many regards. Look at what happened in California, Los Angeles, that congresswoman or that local councilman a few years back, she made these negative comments about this little black boy, compared him to a monkey. This is what you think about is you go out of your way to usher, you get into the schools, you push us out. You get into political positions, you push us out. You try to push us out of our neighborhoods. This is what you've done to us. The Africans, y'all ain't no better. Look at Howard University. Look at the medical school at Howard University. Look at all those African surnames and African names. Not really one black American in the whole doggone thing. You come to our law schools, you come to our medical schools, you come to our universities, our graduate schools, and then you have the nerve to talk bad about us. I want you to think about how ungrateful you've been now that ICE is coming for you. And why black people are not coming to save you. The capes are off.
What we didn't understand is that you guys were coming here to support white supremacy.
Yes, you were.
And used us as a transition class, but also used us and misused us.
Used us.
So as groups, we realized that we don't have any allies.
Nope.
And a lot of us are taking the cape off. Don't ask for help.
Take the cape off.
Because honestly, the ones that would help you, like me, I used to be one of those people who get on a bus and go protest for you. We're the ones that are not helping you anymore.
Nope.
Some of us still have the cape.
Black women are done. You hear me? I'm just saying, black women are done. Done. All the sisters in the chat room, type "we done" in the chat room.
Keep going. Those really aren't going to be the loudest ones. We're not helping you anymore. We took the cape off. Now, are there individual people that are good people who are allies and who are really supporters? Yes, but those are individuals and they're few and far between. They're not groups. That being said, you're not an ally just because you have black friends or you marry a black person. And I'm talking about black American. I'm not talking about a Caribbean or African, because this includes Caribbean, African, Hispanic, and Asian.
You see
you're
that?
Not an ally just because you're like.
She talking about everybody. So this is not a racial thing. You understand? She's saying all of you immigrant folk. That's what she's saying. Y'all have been disrespectful and dismissive. Keep letting. Now you getting the taste of what we had to go through.
Oh yeah, I think you guys are treated badly. If you are texturist, if you think that ethnic black Americans have nappy hair, and you think that dark-skinned people or people who are darker than you, whatever that might be, if you think you accept them as opposed to celebrate their beauty, you're not an ally. For example, if you think you're doing somebody a favor by being friends with them because they're black, you're not an ally.
Because you think you better than them. That's what she's saying.
If you call somebody who has kinky coily hair, dark skin, or certain types of features, if you make fun of it, or if you think oh, I'm better because I'm lighter, or because my hair's straighter, or because my nose is a certain way, or whatever, you're not an ally. Not an ally. If you say that's okay when somebody tells you they're black American, you're not an ally.
You hear that? That's
so just
okay.
because you're cool with black people doesn't mean you're an ally, or you're on code, or you're not racist.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Or you're not colorist. The reason why I know is because of my complexion and my hair. A lot of Hispanics mistake me for being Hispanic. And I hear the things they say to me. You have no idea how many people I've said, oh, I'm black American too, who were Hispanic, and we're like, don't say that. Why would you say that? Why would you say that you're black? I'm like, I'm proud of being black.
I'm proud of being black too. You understand that? They think it's something pathological about you being a black American. And this woman is telling you that these folk are as racist to us as the worst of the white supremacists. That's what this woman is telling you. And you want us, you don't think we know about that? We talk. Keep listening.
And my thing is that, like, so that's what I'm saying. So as groups, you guys have never been for us. A lot, you want to take all of the things that you like about us, and then you don't want to have any deep conversations about everything that you like about us comes from our spirit and our struggle and the things that we have had to do to get to a certain place. So you want to take it and you want it for yourself, but then whenever there's a tough conversation, you don't want to have it.
No.
So like, you want to dance like us, you want to rap like us, you want to sound like us, you want to sing like us, you want to look like us, you want to dress like us. But then when we want to have the conversation about who we are as a culture and what we're experiencing, all of a sudden you don't want to have the conversation. You're like, oh, it's too deep. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to go into that.
Talk about that. No.
So you want, it's like,
you just want us on a superficial level.
You want, like, it's like somebody making, you know, spending all day to make a feast, right? And they spend weeks getting everything that they go to the farm and they pick all the food, and they put all this work into making this food, and the food is beautiful, and then you just want to come to eat and then leave. You want to come to eat, you eat, and then you leave. You don't bring shit.
Nothing. Not a damn thing.
Come with nothing. Some of y'all might say thank you, and then you want to leave.
Then out. And
then we say, wait, if you're going to be eating our feast, then you need to understand everything it took for us to have these things. Like, I don't want to talk about that. Well, it's a new day and a new era.
A new day. New day in the chat room.
The younger generation is to, like, F y'all. We're going to do us. And that's that and everything. I kind of hope that we can separate and get our own shit and do our own thing, because we're dope and we really don't need anybody else except for the creator of all.
We don't need anybody else. There ain't nobody else gonna be there for us. As Dr. John Henry Clark said, we have no back. Little Mama is on them.
Americans, Native Black Americans, Original Black Americans, Foundational Black Americans, ADOS, Sulan, right now. And that's all I'm talking to. Okay, I'm being serious now. I'm not joking. I'm not being sarcastic. Like
Okay. Talk to us,
the Bible says to be as your heart innocent as a dove and your mind as wise as a serpent.
Wow.
And I follow God and the creator of all things. So,
shout out to my man Johnny Harris. Thank you so much.
Just remember and do whatever you want to do. This is just how I live my life.
Yes, Lord.
That while we're being wise, because before our hearts were innocent in terms of how we treated other groups, and our minds were naive, we weren't wise. And
we were not.
As we grow in wisdom, which is knowing that we can't help people who are actively attacking us or don't appreciate us or envy us and competing with us or want to, want our spot, we cannot help people like that.
Nope.
That's wisdom. But also we have to keep our hearts innocent, because it's so easy once we realize we've been betrayed and just how people really are to grow resentful, angry, bitter. And that's not even a bad thing. It's only bad when you start to make choices that are not pure-hearted. So that being said, I'm not calling ICE on nobody unprovoked. Well, I said unprovoked, okay?
Yeah, that.
And if somebody's children or somebody really needs help, I will help that individual, because I think that that's what being a good person is. But am I going to go stop ICE? No. Am I going to fight against ICE? No, I'm not. Am I going to go down?
These people are literally asking us to get out there and fight against federal agents to help save them and their children and stuff like that. They literally want you to put your life and your livelihood on the line. And so the sister said, I'm not going to call the police on you, but I'm not about to be going out there putting my life on the line for you all. I'm not doing it. I have to respect that, and everybody else has to respect that. Shout out to this young lady for her brilliance and her knowledge and her self-awareness, and let's keep listening to her.
Down to City Hall or, petition the government. No, I'm not going to do any of that. They made their bed. They had allies, and they basically spit on their allies.
They did.
So they have to reap the karma that they created for themselves. This goes for any immigrant. So I'm not going to be a bad person or a negative person or try to wish harm on anybody.
That's
just not going to do it.
We don't do that.
But I'm not also going to help those who are actively working against my community either. Because again, the Bible says your heart should be innocent as a dove, but your mind has to be wise as a serpent. And that's a hard balance. So in the future, Black Americans, ethnic Black Americans, those whose family has been here, we're descendants of the slaves in America. Our minds just have to be wiser, because they weren't wise. We had these great neighborhoods that we created in Reconstruction era. We were doing so many fantastic things during the Reconstruction era, but we foolishly and naively thought they're going to leave us alone now. and they came and destroyed and sabotaged every time we worked together.
That's exactly what I was talking about. You're dealing with the people who feel they've been trained. White supremacy has done a horrible number on the minds of white people. Okay, they came from Europe, poor, downtrodden, oppressed by the Catholic church, by the monarchy over there. They came to this country and say, hey, if you're over here and you're white, you're better than these brown people. You're better than these black people. And that has done a number on white people to the point that if you are a black person, if you are objectively doing better than them, if you're a brown person, if you're an Asian person, if you're a Latino person, an Indian person, and you're doing better than them, that messes with the delusion of white supremacy and causes for them to lash out. And they literally want to reach out and destroy things. Why do you think they always target successful, rich black people? Why do you think the old folks say, mind your black business? Keep your business out the street. When every time a black person was doing well, their children was doing well, black folk went out of their way to downplay. Oh, your boy Timmy is real smart. Oh no, he dumb as a block of rocks, sir. He's a dumb as a box of rocks. Because they don't want to see you doing better. Because when Timmy is smarter than Brad, it messes with their mind. You understand me? And so that's what we're dealing with. And we know that. This is what our culture is built for. That's why I tell folk all the time, black people are going to be fine in this situation. It's going to be tough, but we're going to be fine because we went through worse. And that's that culture that you say doesn't exist. It comes together for times just like this. And you all haven't been able to deal with it. As long as you crying instead of dealing with it and being wise like a serpent, as this young lady said, you're going to suffer. Keep listening.
And we get to a certain place, like the Tower of Babel. Look up the Bible parable of the Tower of Babel, and that's what they do. So anytime we work together and we climb too high, they knock it down and they create division. So that being said, we need to be in the future better gatekeepers, better protectors of the stuff that we're building.
Yes,
we have to be wise in who we choose to help, but we also have to maintain an innocence, because we will progress and advance if we maintain innocence. That's how we've been progressing and advancing, because we have been. But if we join in and act like everybody else, then we will be like everybody else, and we're not.
Right.
We're
special.
Not
like that.
We're God's children.
Amen.
And we don't have to contribute to somebody's demise, but we don't have to. We can. It's time to put the cape in the closet.
Yes, ma'am. Put the cape in the closet. You hear what she said? Put the cape in the closet. Keep going.
Home Depot parking lot looking like Arby's.
Uh-oh.
Trump got Home Depot parking lot looking like Arby's. Nobody else.
Now, the other lady said she ain't calling the ice on nobody. She's not doing that. My man on here, he's got a different vibe. Keep listening.
Spanish descent in sight.
Nobody.
Now, if y'all ain't aware, I just got to wear my damn self, honestly, if you're being real. I went outside to deliver some packages for people who ordered. And guess what? Home Depot parking lot looked like a desert in the Southwest. Trump is rallying up everybody in New York, Chicago, Texas, California. If you have a family member who is illegal, they are coming. ICE ain't playing, okay? It's all over the news. It's everywhere online. They catching people. And it's not just Spanish people. Trust me, y'all. No. Haitian descent, African descent, anybody overseas. If you are illegal and you have caught a charge and they let you home, even if you got ROR or you just came home off of the charge, they are coming. And this is serious. Do I agree with the situation? Absolutely not. Come on, man. This is horribly wrong. People trying to build families here and have a better life. And everybody, we just know the charge, but not really the circumstances. It's bad, and bro, prayers go out to the families. But Trump ain't playing, y'all. So if y'all got family members and stuff, please let them know. Be on the lookout, because they also done put out there they giving $750 to anybody who know the whereabouts of an illegal person. I don't know what to take from that, y'all, but prayers go out to the people out here.
Don't be
ICE is on the way.
Okay? Type 750 in the chat room. 750.
Trump got Home Depot.
Tired of paying for their free rent, free food, free medical.
Now, my man, he went on for a little while, but basically he don't understand why people will want to send these people home. We have brothers like that.
Schools and shit like that. Like, just say it with your chest. Y'all don't like them. That's what it is.
So I've been seeing on this app update, ICE can now raid schools.
Yes, they raiding schools.
And if ICE tries to raid schools.
Listen to her. Listen. She said, if ICE tries to raid school, what you gonna do? Baby girl said, nothing.
Federal agency or federal laws.
Shout out to Johnny
on
Harris.
their children's behalf. I'm not going to risk going to jail and losing my livelihood
I ain't risk going
on
to jail.
behalf of you or your children, because who would take care of mine?
Nope.
And I'm seeing that a lot of Black women are not understanding how to take off the cape.
Yes.
And that's because we've been wearing it
They
so
done.
long.
You hear me? Black women are
Flying
done.
that cape so high that we really can't separate ourselves from that role. I will not be doing anything that could potentially
All the Black women in the chat room say, do nothing. I want all the Black women listening to this broadcast right now. Say, do nothing. Okay? Say, do nothing. That's where they're at. They are going to do nothing. Their capes are down, their feet are up. Okay, they somewhere with some rocks in the bottom of their tub, soaking and sipping Chardonnay. They are doing nothing. Do nothing. That's what the sisters at. They done. They done. They usually be the loud. Y'all know you don't like them. They're so loud. All these Black, they're loud and aggressive and black. That's when you need them. Why do you think they're like that? You think you would get somewhere in this country being, what did they say, being demure? You think you're gonna get somewhere? Do you think a woman being demure, do you think that's not gonna work here? See, all of them are gonna have an opportunity. Look, in 100 years, the Latinos and Asian and all, they're gonna be just like the Black women are right now. Stick around if they want to survive. Let's keep listening. Do nothing. Type it in the chat room. Do nothing. Keep going.
impact this household, me,
Shout out
or
to
my
Kate.
children,
Hello.
including protecting yours.
There you
The
go,
things
baby.
that this administration said were going to happen are happening.
Yes, they are.
And how we tried to help was pointing out to you that these particular things were going to be counterproductive
Yes.
to your own physical safety, health,
God, look,
wellness,
you see.
and financial situations.
Yeah, now I'm gonna tell you, look now, look. I voted for Trump, but I got money. I'm looking for low taxes. The vast majority of Black people voted for Kamala Harris. I understand. You can't blame Black people for this one. Okay, I have my own reason. I knew it was coming. I knew who I'm dealing with. I'm a realist. But at the end of the day, I figure, hell, I'm gonna be all right. I got money. You see what I'm saying? But the regular, normal, everyday, hardworking Black folks try to tell you, y'all better not goddamn vote for that goddamn Donald Trump. They tried to tell you. They tried to tell you. Black women voted for Kamala Harris 93%. Black men voted 79%. And the Black men that voted for Donald Trump did largely because they too are financially incentivized to vote for the Republican Party because they have money also. You understand? There's a statistic that came out that says 60% of Black men are in the middle class, upper middle class, or are rich at this time. This is not 1960. This is 2020, 2025 at this point. So our interests have changed. You see what I'm saying? Nevertheless, you can't blame Black people for this because the overwhelming majority of Black people, just like this young lady said, tried to warn you, but you wanted to align yourself with the white right for all the wrong reasons. And there you go. You wanted to be white. You thought it was right. Now you was wrong, and now you're going home. Keep hitting.
And you know what Jen Pop said? Jen Pop said, that's fine. We hate Black women so much, we're willing to risk that.
They did.
So now
That's why I
that it's
vote for
here,
Kamala.
as a Black woman, a person who's already in a marginalized group,
Mhm.
I cannot do anything to help you
Amen.
without putting myself
Don't do
at
it.
risk of more marginalization, the kind
Don't
that they
do it.
already said was going to happen.
Done.
So what am I going to do?
Doing nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Do nothing. You heard what she said. All the ladies, all the Black women in the chat room say, do nothing.
You know, I see people
my girl
talking
back.
about how ICE seems to be targeting certain immigrants and not other immigrants.
Look at my girl.
And
She
I'm
back.
going to share
Oh,
with
Lord.
you what ethnic Black Americans were told and to share back
Listen
with you
to
what
her.
were told by you. It seems like you're always the victim.
Victim!
You know, we don't play the race card in America. We don't see color.
Right.
And it just seems like if you just work hard and you're not a criminal, you'll be fine. So,
not a criminal. Work hard.
The victim card, it's, you know, you guys are playing it a lot, talking about, they're coming to our schools and scaring our children and breaking up our families and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's sounding like a victim, you know, kind of victim thing, because there's a lot of Hispanic ICE agents, and the Secretary of State is Hispanic. So, you know, I don't understand why you guys keep playing this victim card and this race card when, you know, we don't see color. I just think you need to work hard and, you know, maybe work on the criminalization in your group.
Yes, that's what it is. You know, that's what
and just comply with the law.
Follow the law. Follow the law. That's what they said. Stop breaking the law.
People are asking, why is ICE coming to these work sites?
Yeah,
and I'm gonna share with you what you guys told ethnic Black Americans.
Little mama is on one.
It's really important not to be lazy in America.
Don't be lazy.
If you have a great work ethic, everything will be just fine.
Work
as long
hard.
as you work really, really hard,
yes,
you'll be just fine. ICE will not bother you if you're working hard. So if they're at your work site and they're taking you away or your friends away, you have to work harder. Somebody knew you were lazy, and
that you hear that? That's what they tell us, don't they? There's no racism in America if you just work hard and you comply with the police and stop playing the victims. That's that. You hear that? That's what they tell us all the time.
ID. So I took a flight on the 20th, Martin Luther King Day, the day of the inauguration.
What happened?
And I was going home. I had a layover in Newark, and we were delayed because of the snow. But the Homeland Security or ICE, one of them came up to the boarding, and this is a domestic flight, and they were like, we're gonna check, like do a double check of everybody's ID, if that's okay. And she was like,
so what she's saying is we were getting on the plane, okay? Not only did the flight attendants and whatnot check my passport, ICE was 5 deep. You know how when you walk past the little, they like bling, you walk past that little kiosk there, and they check your passport. When she walked and got on the plane, about to get on the plane, 5 ICE agents was there sweating everybody. You said, just let me see your passport. They was gonna walk you right down that runway, right on over there to their holding cell. That's what was happening. Keep listening.
well, we haven't started boarding at all. And they're like, it's fine, we'll wait. And so obviously, as you guys know, you go through security, you show your ID, then you do TSA, and then when you board, you just board with your boarding pass.
Yeah,
so I did my boarding pass, and then in the little galley that takes you onto the actual plane, they were rechecking everyone, and they were like 5 deep, just blocking everybody off. It was insane.
It was,
Oh my God, do you know what just hit me?
What hit you,
On
baby?
Tuesday morning, I just saw a TikTok that was saying that they're going to start doing ICE raids and, you know, immigration lockups and rounds on Tuesday. And you know what they're starting? In fucking Chicago.
Yeah,
and
Chicago.
why? Because that psychopath is so
He is the president, ma'am. He is not a
President
psychopath.
Obama's black ass. You're nuts.
He is
And
doing
you have
what
nothing else better to fucking do.
no,
So,
he's doing what the
I know
American
this app is
people
about to
voted
get
him
banned,
to
but
do.
people need to tighten up. If you know anyone in Chicago, if you are in Chicago, be on a lookout because they are going to be out there. ICE is going
I'm not doing nothing. I'm gonna
Y'all
be minding my
out
business. I'm gonna be minding all of my own business. And most black
So I'm
people,
seeing a bunch of people saying that they're gonna act like they're undocumented, but I want to let y'all know that I don't really think that that is a good way to go about it. The last time that they did mass deportation, they actually did take some like U.S. citizens as well, as it's gonna take you a long time before like they realize, you know, even if that's not the case and they're not like gonna do that, even though they're going after like birthright citizenship and naturalized citizens and everything. So I wouldn't want to get caught as like a second, third generation American. Yeah, just be careful. Like look into that historically. I know y'all think it's funny, but somebody's gonna actually do it.
somebody gonna be out there trying to get in the way of those federal agents. Mess around and get an obstruction of justice charge and a resisting arrest and do 10 years in the federal penitentiary. And you know what they say about fed time. You do all of that. Okay, ain't no good time, just fed time. Keep playing with these people if you want to. Trying to be a hero. You'll be locked down and we won't see you to 10 years from now. Keep playing.
Without understanding that in America, mass deportation can mean that American citizens may accidentally, on purpose, get deported as well. Hey, y'all.
You're raiding
Keep
people's
playing.
apartments.
Listen.
I was driving to the office this morning. I saw.
Look at these black people are exasperated. I want you to just look at the shock on black people's express. We are watching other people get treated like us. How we've been getting treated, and it has us shook seeing it happen. But just keep in mind when they see it happening to us, we don't get this sort of response. Remember, they tell us stop resisting. Keep listening.
I struck, and I also saw a lot of police officers on the motorcycles.
Now she foreigner. This is an African girl.
And be silent. Even if they knock on your door, do not say a word. Like just stay.
Now see here, if the police come knocking on my door, I'm gonna talk to them. Hey, what the hell y'all doing out there? What in the hell is going on? I'm talking to them. I ain't scared. You understand me? I ain't where y'all gonna send me. Mississippi? That's where my people from. That's where you gonna send. North Carolina? Huh? That's where you gonna. I'm gonna get deported to Mississippi. I'm gonna have me a good time at the casinos down, and I'll be back tomorrow. That's what I'm gonna do. Take that Southwest flight from Jackson, Mississippi, stop over in Austin. They'll have me back here in Houston by tomorrow. You understand me? Yeah. It's a different vibe now. You understand me? It's a different Black Americans. Remember all these Black Americans that y'all didn't want to be. Y'all bet you want to be a Black American right now for these papers. Praise God.
Do not come out.
Don't come out.
They are literally targeting Hispanics.
You not Hispanic, you Black. You telling folk don't come out? What you mean don't come out? Stop resisting. If you don't resist, the police won't, everything will be fine. Right? What they say? Keep listening.
Because all the cars that got pulled over this morning, I believe over 30 cars got pulled over this morning.
Yes.
And they were all Hispanics.
Because they mean it.
So just be mindful and be aware of your surrounding at this moment because they are out here looking for you guys.
They show you guys.
This is insane.
They looking for you too, baby girl. They look at everybody.
Like cars was just passing by, and I'm like, wait, am I getting pulled over? I'm not driving fast.
No, baby girl, this is a problem.
We don't have to imagine anything.
And my girl,
I'm pretty sure you're second or third generation immigrant saying that, if not first. And you are what we call a people of color worshiper. And I just want you to
hold on. Who cares about where you're from? You think it's that easy to come here? Imagine your family being forced out of your something process. Would it be any different? We don't have that problem, baby. We are Black Americans. Keep listening.
Understand that we're not just talking about Hispanics. We're also talking about Caribbeans and Africans.
Yes.
All of you guys came here and said what you said.
Y'all said a lot of very mean, nasty things to Black Americans. And you hear what this little lady is saying? Keep that same energy. That's what she said. Keep that same energy. All that energy that y'all had, that negative energy directed towards Black America. Keep that same energy.
We're not just talking about Hispanics. We're also talking about Caribbeans and Africans. All of you guys came here and said what you said.
They said what they said.
That same energy that you had for us and keep it for yourselves.
So
go stand on business.
Stand on business.
Really hard.
Work hard.
Don't be a victim.
Don't be a victim.
Just comply with ICE agents, and you should be fine.
Open that door. That's what she said. Open that door. When they knock on the door, you open that door. You comply.
Immigration can now raid places like hospitals,
schools, everywhere,
and other sensitive areas that they usually couldn't touch because of Trump's mandate.
Because the law has
changed. I got
changed.
a video from this friend's account. I'll tag her below too. But here are some of the places where they have.
That's what they're doing, baby. They doing it. Everybody's going to go. Everybody's got to go.
And here as well.
Yeah, everybody's gonna leave.
Most authority on this whatsoever. I don't live near these places, but it's important to share this information around. Do some research yourself.
Yes.
To protect our friends and neighbors who are migrants.
I'm protecting neighbors.
Also follow her for some.
I'm not getting in that. Most people are not getting in that. They're not.
Yeah, these ICE raids really got my heart breaking out here. It's crazy because like my mom and even like people that I work with kept telling me how like
there's no one outside, like no one in the trains, no one in the
No,
schools.
they don't. She in New York, and her parents are African. That ain't nobody gonna be in the train. They know that's where you're gonna be. You in New York. They know where you at. They're gonna catch you in the train. That's why they not. I ain't worried about it. I'm down in Texas, baby. I see why they not. You know why they not in the train? You know that.
There's so many families being broken apart, and it really breaks my heart because it's like being an African child who has immigrant parents, like they really like left their lives behind.
Well, you can go
start a new future.
See, this is the thing. Y'all always talk about how wonderful y'all countries are. Y'all have your little flags up and whatnot, and how wonderful the culture is and the food, and how we don't have. And now you get a chance to go back to your country that you always say has this wonderful culture that's much better than ours. So now you got a chance to go back and just really live it up, man. I mean, I thought y'all loved y'all country, because see, this is the country with us in it, and we so horrible and everything. So, you get a chance to go back and absorb that culture and the food and all that stuff that y'all like so much. Right? Ain't nothing wrong with, right? That's what you said, culture.
For their future families. And I'm just extremely grateful for that. Like, obviously, I made the most of it in the best way that I could, but my heart just goes out to those families that are just being like all broken up.
They going home, baby. They going home. Yeah, that's the people elected by the majority of America.
So at first, ICE was just going in schools and stuff.
No, that wasn't enough.
Taking people, no warrants,
no
nothing,
warrant.
just doing what they want to do, basically.
That's what they did.
Now, they have warrants.
They got warrants.
And they're going in. And it's crazy because I just seen a post saying that 3 homeless shelters in New York City was just raided by ICE. But this time when they came in to get
That's
them,
where the people are.
they had a
They
warrant,
homeless
so
shelter.
they
They got
denied them coming in.
No, they had a warrant. That's what
Just
they
want to
do.
warn y'all. Make sure y'all share this post.
Don't.
Post whatever the case may be.
Y'all told us.
Like,
stop
as of
resisting.
like going forward, they are starting to obtain warrants to enter the premises. They don't have to just barge in. You don't have an argument that, you don't have a warrant to come in here. You can't do that.
No.
They do now.
They do. Because they're law enforcement, right?
I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know this too, just in case y'all been sleeping.
Back to blue,
ICE is
right?
working hard.
Yes, they are.
They went in full-fledged on January 20th. They have already started raiding a lot of places.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just saying.
We all know. We seen it. We see it happen. We know what they're doing.
And the most recent, did y'all see what happened in Newark, New Jersey? Okay.
Yeah, we
Go
saw.
look it up.
Yeah, we saw all that. We seen that, baby. We seen it all. Shout out to all the black folk for expressing themselves and saying what they have to say. You understand me? Now, I do have a video of white folks, doing what white folks do, kind of, taking both sides. Just, I ain't gonna play all of them. You see what I mean? I thought this was interesting. Look at this. This is how they feel. This is how they feel right here. Look at that. And then she got Ice Baby playing in the background. Anyone else excited about Ice Baby? These are the folk that you forsaked us for. You see? And I'm not saying it's all white folks. I'm just saying that seemed to me like you all sided with the wrong team. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Now I find this interesting. Check this out. Yeah.
Circle up.
Look.
Listen, ladies. ICE raids are
I want you to listen to this, right? Listen to this.
coming. All right.
They've
They've even started already in some places. And no location is off limits this time around. Not even schools or churches. So you know what that means, right? That's right. It's time for us to put our very best Karen skills to good work. Now, I don't want to hear none of y'all hopping into my mentions going, Kendall-y, I don't know how to Karen. Bitch, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Fair use.
We all do. Let's not pretend that
I want you to understand something, family. I want you to understand something. This woman is a very white American woman. And all of these white folk out here saying, oh, this is terrible. We're going to jump in front and protect. Remember, the majority of white people voted for Donald Trump. I just want y'all to understand that. this is all fun and games to these folk. The majority now they saying, no, we're going to help save the people that we just voted to have removed from the country. I just want you to understand the games being played. You see what I mean? It's like they're taking both sides of the field. You feel me? These same folks. Okay,
you know these mass raids that ICE is doing right now? Do you think they're doing deportations? Oh, no. They are not doing deportations. They are doing detention centers because Trump's billionaires' friends, they own private prisons. And all the people that ICE is currently detaining will go into those private prisons.
They will.
And they're not going to be deported.
Nope.
They're going to stay there for years. And guess who's going to pay for that? You and me.
Yep.
So
she's saying the same thing I said. You understand me? The game is afoot, family. The games are afoot. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to give you all your marching orders because I think it's just important to do. We're going to cap this thing off. I'm going to read these super chats in a minute. But we're going to cap this thing off real tough. Are y'all still with me? If you're still with me, hit the number 1 button. If y'all ready for me to stop talking, I shall. But I got some more to say because we need to have a well-rounded conversation. We got 43 super chats. Hell, we might break a record tonight. Shout out to everybody. I'm going to read them all. Now, look here. From the moment our ancestors were forced across the Atlantic in chains, Black Americans have faced relentless racism, economic exploitation, and social exclusion. You understand me? And this country has done everything possible to keep us at the bottom. For 400 plus years, free labor from us has built this country and the American economy. It's what jump-started the thing. And what do we get in return? We got Jim Crow, we got stripped of our humanity, and we got enforced segregation, separate but unequal. Okay? That's what we got. We got crumbling schools. We got dilapidated housing. Now, we did get a few opportunities for a few select Black people, right? They will let a few of us come up. You understand me? And we demanded equality. And what do we get in return for our demands for equality? We got brutality. We got violence in the street. We got the CIA. We got the FBI. We got attack dogs. We got lynched in broad daylight. We got police brutality, Emmett Till, Rodney King, and countless others, because this wasn't an isolated incident. We got a long history of state-sanctioned violence against us. And then after that, we got redlining, discrimination in hiring, mass incarceration. This is what we dealt with. But we strategically used what we had, right, to accumulate wealth and try to break the cycle of poverty against all odds. You see, and America still erects barriers to ensure that our generational wealth remains out of reach. And yet through it all, we still rise. We fight. We continue to demand justice, not just for ourselves, but for every other group that comes to this country. Every right, every privilege that these other groups get, these marginalized groups, everything they enjoy today, from women to Eastern Europeans, to Latinos, to Africans from the diaspora. The civil rights movement set the foundation for women's rights, immigrant rights, LGBTQ rights, and everything else. The Civil Rights Acts in 1964, the Voting Act of 1965. It didn't just benefit us. We fought for it, we bled for it, but it opened the doors for every minority. Black leaders like A. Philip Randolph, they fought for fair labor practices. Fannie Lou Hamer. This is what they did. This is what benefits these immigrant workers. And yet, despite our sacrifices, we're often left to fight alone when our community needs support. You're not there for us. Immigrants, particularly from the Caribbean and African nations, have been very disappointed to Black Americans. And oftentimes you benefit from our struggle, but you turn your back on us once your place is secure. Your flags come out. You see, you distance yourselves from our struggle, and you help perpetuate this anti-Black stereotype. Oh, those Black people, Black Americans are not. You do it all the time. But you only claim Blackness when it benefits you from a political standpoint or social. Look, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, ethnic Black Americans, indigenous Black Americans, whatever you call yourself. You cannot continue to carry the weight of every social justice movement without reciprocation. You don't have the time, energy, or anything for that. It's time to prioritize your own community and your own needs and our own advancement. We must stop being the unpaid soldiers for every damn fight and start focusing on building our own legacy and our own wealth and our future. Black Americans, we bled, we sweat, we died. Okay, we put it all in this country, and enough is enough. No more free passes for people who leech off of our struggle while offering nothing in return. At this point, we must demand the respect. We must demand reciprocity and unwavering solidarity if we're going to pull, and here's the thing. Okay, if they don't, we're going to pull the plug permanently. We're looking for economic domination. It's time to shut down all the handouts to the outsiders. We're looking for political ruthlessness. No more blind loyalty to any party or any coalition that has strung us along for generations with a bunch of empty promises. It's time to lock down our culture. Look at this dude, Fat Joe, claiming hip hop for himself. You understand me? Our music, our fashion, our culture, it's been looted for decades. We got to shut people down. No more free access. Yeah, you rap good, you sing good, but you can't do R&B on my tour with me. You can't do hip hop on my tour with me. We got to shut it down. If they want in, they need to acknowledge us and they need to pay us. And they need to show respect after they pay us, or they get nothing. We set the trends, they copy them. No more exploitation without compensation. You understand? We spent generations standing up for rights, for everybody else, fighting for justice, for everybody else, equality and fairness for all, everybody. You understand? It's time for us to do the same thing for our communities. We need to show up for us. That's what we need to do. Because when it's time for them to show up for us, they're nowhere to be seen. We've carried the weight for these so-called allegiances and alliances. From the so-called Pan-Africans, it's always been a one-way street to the black and brown coalition. But the truth is we've been used and we've been discarded and once our support is no longer needed. And it's time for us to put an end to that. It's just over. See, Black Americans have consistently fought for immigration reform, equal opportunities, minority representation, and what? What? We still face racial discrimination and police violence and economic exclusion. And these same groups that want us to come jump in front of this freight train called ICE, they stayed silent. We've stood with the Latino community, with the Asian community. We've stood against these harsh immigration policies. We've marched, we've advocated for their rights. But when we demand attention on mass incarceration and police brutality or economic disenfranchisement, they tell us we're lazy, we need to comply with the police. They tell us we're victims, we need to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. That's what they tell us. Where's their support on our issues other than that talk? Black politicians fought for broader minority rights, but Latino and Asian leaders, they prioritize their own agendas. They ignore the specific needs of the Black community at the same time. They gladly take our votes, but won't lift a finger when it's time to push for policies that directly benefit us. Remember, they was talking about replacing Black folk. Remember Biden was talking about Black people don't matter anymore? The Latinos are the new minority group, not after Trump. Not after they end this birthright citizenship and ship a bunch of people home and lock a bunch of people up. Oh no, all that is over. Look at all the Black entrepreneurs who struggle to succeed in markets dominated by immigrant-owned businesses. They don't even let you in. I don't even see no Black women with nail shops. I don't see any Black folk who own any hair shops, and y'all the main purchasers of that stuff. You see, they don't reinvest in our neighborhoods. They move out. They get the money and move out. They take our money, and they fail to create any sort of partnerships or opportunities for the Black residents. Enough is enough. And let's keep it 100 about this solidarity. We want to be solid. We want to be unified. But many of these immigrant communities are purely conditional as far as they're concerned. They rally for our support when they need us, like doing these ICE raids and these deportation crackdowns. But then they go radio silent when we're gunned down by the police or struggling with economic disparities. Stop resisting, right? Stop resisting. What was he doing? You got Black activists who constantly fought against inhumane immigration policies, from Al Sharpton all the way down. We face state-sanctioned violence, but Latino activists stay quiet, or they even side with the oppressive systems. You got these Latino-led organizations that push aggressively for their policies, but rarely include issues that impact Black communities, such as prison reform and employment discrimination. They don't care about us like that. And irrespective of the fact that they like our music and our culture, despite the influence that our music and our fashion and our culture have, they like our music, they like our culture, but they don't want us. They want to disconnect us from our culture. You understand that? They want to profit from it. And they still keep the distance social and refuse to stand up when it truly matters. Look at these essays and Latino folk in LA who listen to all this old school Black music. You can hear them riding down the street in they low riders, bumping all that old 1950s, Nat Turner, Marvin Gaye, et cetera, and then turn around and practice anti-Black racism. Explain that. See, I'm talking about a cycle of selective solidarity, and it's fueling this growing frustration in the Black community. We're tired of being the only group that's expected to give without receiving. Shout out to my man, Johnny Harris. The time has come to focus on inward things and protect our interests first. If others won't stand with us, they shouldn't expect us to stand with them. Bottom line is this: we built this and we're taking it back. Black Americans have done enough. Hell, we've done more than enough. We fought, we built, we sacrificed, fought in every wars. We fought from a disadvantaged position. And from now on, we need to focus on, we need our focus to be clear on Black interests, because Black interests need to come first. And anyone who isn't truly with us is against us. And we can no longer be used. It's time to stop all begging for these alliances and just recognize that it's not going to work. Okay? If we're not fighting for us, don't expect us to fight for you. It's just plain and simple. You understand? We're the backbone of every major social justice movement in this country. Time and time again, we find ourselves standing alone when it comes to our struggles. We've done enough. We have done plenty and enough. Okay? We done. And when these immigration crackdowns come down hard on these immigrant communities, and they call for Black activists and Black organizations and Black voices to come to the front line, no, I don't think we need to answer that call. I think they need to get crickets. Somebody type crickets in the chat room. Because see, these same people who beg for our support shut us out of their businesses and their neighborhoods and their circles and their movements and when the crisis is over. These Latino-led organizations, they aggressively push these immigration reform. They're looking for better access to jobs and political representation, and then they take full advantage of the civil rights framework that Black Americans bled and died for. But do they return the favor? No. We're all the Hispanic mayors and politicians that are standing up, that stood up for Black folk during the George Floyd situation and the Trayvon Martin situation. We're all the Hispanic folk. Look at this mayor of Chicago. And whether you agree with him or not, the mayor of Chicago, the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, look at all these Black men saying, I'm gonna go to jail. God darn it. You are so noble. You're willing to go to jail And you can't find how the hair of one of these Latino mayors and whatnot when black folks' butts are on the line. Come on, man. I can't even name one that stood up for black people like that. Mayor Brandon Johnson is one of the most hated men in America by Donald Trump because he said, no, you're not coming to my city to do it. And right or wrong, the brother said this the other day, man, as a black man who is descended from slaves, I'll be damned if I stand here and support this federal government coming in, snatching brown people out of my city. Damn, man, I can't argue with that. Golly. I'm just saying. Shout out to Mr. Lane. Damn. But where's the reciprocation? Where all the Latino mayors and congressmen and councilmen who stand up for us like that? I'm willing to go to jail for your black babies. I'm willing to go to jail to keep the police from beating and killing your. Where they at? I ain't seen them. Let's cut to the chase, man. Some of the immigrant communities, especially Latinos and these African immigrants and Caribbean immigrants, they've mastered the art of taking from the black struggle without giving anything back. Worse, they often perpetuate the very same anti-black American stereotypes that have been weaponized against us for centuries, hundreds of years. And the false equivalencies they draw between their challenges, you know, that they had to deal with as immigrants and coming from the countries that they came. You can go back. You can't compare that to the systematic oppression that black Americans have had to endure. Not only you insult our history, but you actively undermine our fight for justice. Come on, man. Many of these immigrant folks arrive in the United States carrying deep-seated anti-black prejudices from their home countries, where African ancestry and black skin and darker skin is stigmatized and dehumanized. They avoid our black neighbors. They avoid, they exclude black people from social spaces. They perpetuate narratives about crimes and laziness, and they want to align with the white supremacist propaganda. These biases aren't just microaggressions. They're active forms of discrimination, and they make workplaces, they make schools, they make communities, hell, they make prisons hostile for black people. Immigrant communities hijack our language, they hijack our tactics and our symbolism of black civil rights, and they fight to fight their own battles, and then they ignore the distinct entrenched suppression that black Americans have had to face for centuries. They chant our slogans, no justice, no peace. They mimic our activism, but they refuse to acknowledge the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors that they shared to pave the way. They use our progress as a springboard for their own causes, and they leave us out here to fend for ourselves. So, you know, cities like LA, you got immigrants communities. They've systematically displaced black neighborhoods, and they were trying to do that to Chicago, weren't they? Shout out to Chicago. They were trying to do that to Chi-Town. Chi-Town stood on business and said, hell with what this mayor talking about. We're going to turn Chicago red. Shout out to all the people in Chicago. They call it the second city, but damn, I met some number one winners from Chicago. Every person I meet from Chicago is number one, as far as I'm concerned. But they tried it. It didn't work. They know better. See, the hypocrisy is glaring when it comes to these immigrant groups, how they borrow from our struggle to gain a foothold in America. And then they perpetuate that anti-black hate and racism in our daily lives. They live in neighborhoods our ancestors built. They use resources we fought to secure, and then they mimic our culture and ostracize us from their spaces. See, it's time to call this out for what it is. It is exploitation. Black Americans have been the backbone of every social justice movement in this country, and we refuse to be erased, disrespected, or used any longer. We will not continue to be stepping stones for groups who refuse to stand with us when it matters the most. We're reclaiming our power and our spaces and our narrative. We've been squeezed out of our own neighborhoods and resources and opportunities by immigrant groups who come in and take over and leave us marginalized in the very spaces we built. Economic competition and cultural classes have turned once thriving Black communities and Black neighborhoods into battlegrounds. We literally have to fight for our place. You got immigrant populations flooding historically Black areas, and Black residents find themselves displaced, priced out, and systematically overlooked. Jobs, housing, opportunities that should be helping our communities are funneled elsewhere and leaving us in the dust. So yeah, they got to go. Because once you get rid of them, it'll be more room and more space for the rest of us, for the ones that are here legally and belong here. Yeah, they got to go. They got to go. For our own self-preservation, they got to go. Instead of fostering unity, these divisions, they widen by this discriminatory practices and unequal resource distribution in favor of immigrants who just got here. They don't want to get the white man stuff. They want to come get the little crumbs that we have. Come on, man. We fought for that. But you folks are just so kind and generous. Even now, we don't want to see them people hurt. We don't want to see families separated. We've done that before. But damn, at a certain point, Black folk need to stand up for themselves and say, hey, man, it's time for us to put ourselves first. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. Look. The bottom line is, folks, there's no more free rides. We're done being the backbone for all these movements, especially ones that leave us behind. Black Americans have we've been the moral compass, the cultural innovators, and the political force that drives progress in this country. We are the moral compass of this country. We are the ones that say, no, America, you must change. You must live up to your ideals. We do that. But from now on, we need to focus on us. We need to reclaim our communities, our resources, and our power so that we can reclaim our families. So we can put Black men and Black women together so we can raise healthy Black children. We need to focus on us. And if others won't stand with us, they shouldn't expect us to stand with them. No more blind support, no more empty alliances. Now, what's the future strategy? Huh? What's the future strategy, family? I'm going to tell you in a minute. First thing I'm going to do is read all these super chats. And then I'm going to wrap this thing up, man. Shout out to everybody who's contributed. We got a lot of people in here. Y'all make sure y'all hit the #1 button. I ain't finished yet. And y'all hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you hadn't already. Shout out to my man Blue Baggins. I'm confused. Why are they having a victim mentality, right? Isn't that what they tell us? No victim mentality. Shout out to my man Mark, the freelancer. He said, hey, it didn't do nothing. Right. That's what they saying when the immigration is coming at them. My man Emmanuel Dark just need to pull themselves up by the bootstrap. Isn't that something how it sounds harsh when it's coming out of our mouth to them, but they were okay with saying it. Blue Baggins, the usual suspects, why are they running? Don't they know the police are there to help? Right. Isn't that something? Yeah, man. Shoot, that's crazy. All the hypocrisy. It's funny. It's easy for them to judge us when we're dealing with it. Right? It's easy for them to judge us. Your Excellence, sir. All right, stop, collaborate, and listen. ICE is back with a brand new intention. I need illegals to be gone. Yeah, man. I mean, some people, some brothers have, some Black folk have that way of thinking, and justifiably so. Hold up. It's 870 people on the main channel and only 225 likes. Are you allergic to the like button? You guys hit the like button. We got 45 in the super chat. If I can get to 50 super chats, that'd be great. That's 5 more. Anybody? I appreciate that. If you appreciate what you heard, you don't have to contribute if you don't want to. But if you learn something tonight, especially I know nobody else is explaining how the stock market and these privatized companies are going to truly benefit from this incarceration. There's no way we can deport 14 million people in 4 years. Even if J.D. Vance wins, there's no way you can get rid of 14 million people in 12 years. It's just nearly impossible. So they're going to house them, okay? That's what's going to happen. But yeah, I appreciate the super chats. We try to get 5 more. That'd be great. I know it's late. 5 will be live. Shout out to my man Eddie B. Uncle D, that's been the biggest stopping point this whole time, is that the resources that should have gone to us, especially in places like Chicago, was given to legal immigrants, but gave a damn about and that's just true. That's how we feel. Politics, resources, that's what this is about. And they come up here and flood our communities, of course it's going to go to the people who have the most votes, you know, and that's what they were trying to do, but Chicago wasn't having it. One day, could you express and explain how all these diaspora immigrants been slick, double dipping? They get our American black dollars in foreign aid plus American domestic aid. Y'all might do that one day. Thank you so much, Oren. I appreciate you. Your Excellence, watching the documentary and hearing an African tribe sing "Impregnate Our Enemies' Females so we can breed more of us" was appalling to me. That's not my clan. Those aren't my values and more vile. That's very interesting, man. Yeah, but you know, impregnation is a weapon of war. That's what that's the way a lot of wars have been. Silent wars have been won. Red Sigma, that not all statement is razor now. That not all statement is a razor now. Thank you so much, Red Sigma. Devon said, preach. Thank you for the $5. Thank you for the super sticker. L. Vincent, $3 super sticker. Simple Shit TV, member since 18 months. Support black male media. Good looking out. Charles Keys, thank you for the $5 super chat. Mexicans say they are white. They do. You claim you're white. And now, you know, you're getting that black treatment. I mean, it just is what it is, man. You know, Simple Shit TV, work harder, bootstrap, stop resisting. LOL, support black male media. Yeah, right. Thank you so much. But that's what they tell us. And it's not that simple, because you have a racial dichotomy of racial social structures in this country that just can't be ignored. Don't ignore it. Recognize it for what it is. Damn. You know, be grown-ups. We have racial issues in this country. Just deal with it. It's not going anywhere. It's like a weather. People are entitled to feel how they feel, but you got to know how to deal with it, just like the weather. You see what I mean? It's something you got to deal with, period. I don't make excuses for it. It's going to be there. It's not going anywhere. You just got to put your big boy pants on and deal with it. And same thing goes for the ladies. Fun fact, now all the illegals get a free trip back to their welcoming countries. Mark the Freelancer, why can't these people cooperate with law enforcement? Yeah, it sounds so harsh when it's coming from us, right? Shout out to my man, but this is the same things they tell us. And in this time of crisis, how dare they? Be about peace and pleasure. Chris Brown, deuces. Shout out to you. Wrench Turner Ice giving out chili bowls. Yeah, man. They're giving them, they're doing what they do. TIQS regulators, Banzeret Light, it's time to go make your own country great again. Wow. Yeah, right. Isn't that something interesting? Yeah. You know, a lot of these people left their countries for a better opportunity. And now it's time for them to go back. Jig is up. Black saying, we were citizens when they unalived us. It's over them. It's over for those illegals. Right. Isn't that something? John Patton, I am the law. Brother Marcus, SYSBM, they thought that white was right. Right. You know, they voted. Their political motivation had a lot to do with the fact that they wanted to align themselves with, you know, the dominant culture, white society, and white folks said, yeah, go ahead and do it. And they got duped. Remember what George Lopez said? Don't bring, yeah, he says a lot of racist things. And see, like, we don't forget those racist things that have been said about black people. We might not respond to it, but now these same folks are telling us to come help save them from bad decisions that they made, i.e. voting for Donald Trump when they shouldn't have. You see, I voted for him because I benefit from it. I like lower taxes. All those policies benefit me. So it makes sense for me to do it, but it doesn't make sense for you. Vote your interest. Somebody type vote your interest in the chat room. Shout out to Gloria Sabry. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Eddie B, Uncle D, question for you seriously. Since they're illegal immigrants, they can't use the same laws that American citizens have, right? So what they're telling these people is technically incorrect. No, the Constitution provides anybody who is within the territorial bounds of the United States or its territory to be under the Constitution. So you do have the right to due process and against warrantless searches, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, they're literally telling them to disregard or kind of infringe on the law. That's what they tell them. But that's not what they tell us. They tell us to comply 100%, go with the police, be respectful. They telling them don't even open the door. You see, and that's what I'm trying to look at the hypocrisy. So now the next time somebody tells a black person, oh, well, he should have listened to the police, he should have complied. I want you to remember what all these folk are telling these Latino folk and what Latino folk are telling each other and what Africans are telling each other. These are the same people that look down on us for responding the way we do. This is their first chance to have that red summer that we had back in 1920, when white folks all of a sudden, have a riot and just say enough is enough. We got to get these brown folk out of here. This is that envy and jealousy that we had to deal with, which was caused for our towns to be burned down. So this is America. This is America. This is the same America our forefathers told us about. It's the same America. Cody Marshall, the Latinos forgot FBA, we started civil rights. Well, we're going to remind them. Shout out to Brother Marcus. Getting 100 chickens is not a flex. Right. That was the Hispanic fella that wanted to say, well, immigrants are just better and that we're better and y'all are just jealous of us. How you going to come over here to our country that we made from your country, which is worse than our country, and then tell us you're better than us when you benefit from what we created in our country? Just think about that. You just got here. You didn't put the taxes in. You haven't fought in any wars. Your family and ancestors didn't do that. We did that. That's just disrespectful. I would never go to under somebody else's country and tell them I'm better than them in their country because I've reaped the benefits of their sacrifices. That is just so disrespectful. And people have gotten into the habit of disrespecting the United States and disrespecting the people of the United States. Again, we have issues, we have problems in this country, but don't come to our country disrespecting. I love my country. I love it. I've been a lot of places, but there's nowhere else I would rather live. And I thank God for the opportunities that I have. And you all should be thankful too for the opportunities that we have. You don't have this everywhere. This is truly the greatest nation that has ever existed on this planet. Whether you like it or not, whether it's going your way or not, you still have opportunities that you would never be granted. We have elections. We have roads. Your children don't die as children. You have women don't die at childbirth. I mean, you have first world amenities. Come on, man. You haven't traveled enough if you don't truly appreciate the United States. Our military, we have people who are willing to get out there and fight and die. Look at some of these Arab countries. The minute you show up with some guns and stand in front of these guys, run away. Iraq, Afghanistan, look, they sneaking from behind buildings and stuff. They taking pot shots, but they don't put it out on the line. Shout out to all the military and service personnel, United States Marine Corps. Shout out to my two brothers, both of them members of the United States Marine Corps. Shout out to my uncle, my granddad, and all those folks who went to the Marine Corps and other relatives who Army, Navy, we have to recognize that too. Those people who've sacrificed. So, but anyway, I've got off subject a little bit. My man James said, if these immigrants are delusional, they were never better, and now they are feeling what we're going through. Wear the shoes, right? That's what you're dealing with. Shout out to James. Thank you so much. Cody Marshall, we fought our battles and still fighting them. Yeah, we are, but we taking a seat now. We done. We're not fighting anybody else's battle. Charles Key Sr., she should have married a black man. Well, at this point, I don't think marriage can even save you because you still have to apply for citizenship. And if you came here the wrong way, might get denied. John Patton, they going to use them to build a wall. Prison, at this point, we were talking about the prison industrial complex and how these people are being housed in these prisons, and they're going to be used from cheap labor, which is damn near slave labor, which is allowed under the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution, which was enacted after slavery, 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment to finally do away with slavery, and but except for in prisons. So it's going to be very interesting. We'll see how it works out. Alonzo Dunn, all your politicians have stock in private prisons, CCA. Yeah, IEC. Yeah, they do. They probably put it in there before the stock price rose. Just for my sense, as a last resort, Mexican men will start marrying Keisha at high rates. They know Keisha has low self-esteem and won't mix babies. Yeah, but black women don't want to get married. If they wanted to get married, they would have gotten married. They don't want to get married. They might have a baby for you, but black women don't want to be married. They tell you all the time, we strong, independent, and don't need a man. They really don't want to have to deal with the burden of being married. I'm just saying, they might take a baby, but why would they marry a man who's poorer than them from another country? You know, but you just got to understand that, man. It's a lot of that. You just recognize it. The sisters are telling you what they want. Now, they might marry if you got a bunch of money, might not get treated with the respect you think you're supposed to get treated. But the bottom line, it is what it is, man. You know, but yeah, I can see it happening. And you can have a baby by a child and then say, a baby by an American woman and say, hey, well, my son or something lives here. Let me apply that child could grow up and be a sponsor. I don't do immigration law, but I can see it happening to that degree. Cerebral Inquirer, ICE got me nice. Thank you so much. Johnny Harris, now y'all are getting the business. So those who say I'm not black, keep our own list. Okay, thanks, bro. Let me see. Apprentice TY, thank you for sharing my views. Dennis, honest truth. Thank you so much, fam. I appreciate it. Johnny Harris. If you read anything about Germany, first they came for the criminals and metal challenge and so-called Jewish people. Then the rest of people they don't like. Right. Shout out to Kay Woolard. If these immigrants are afraid of their families being split up, then they need to gather their belongings and surrender. Yeah, I mean, that's the harsh truth, you know. Wrench Turner facts, I can count on both hands the number of brothers who make well over $120,000. Tired of you, Dennis the Menace. I got you. I got you nice. Shout out to everybody, man. We had 51 super chats. Woo! Good looking out, man. Appreciate y'all. Johnny Harris. Now, are you still looking down your noses at the FBA now? Right. Yeah, you might want to get some papers. Johnny Harris, stop calling FBA minorities because we ain't minor in SHYT. Miss Elaine, thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. Black Sand, good looking out. Long overdue payment. Much respect to you and your work. Thank you so much, family. MC Recovery. Salute, Dennis. Babyface. Man, don't be telling people my high school nickname, bro. Come on, man. Get out of here. I put your bro Nick in YouTube live video last week. We watched these videos in our men's group at work, me and Nick. Man, shout out to Nick, man. I played football with Nick in Manual Arts. And so MC Recovery, actually, I didn't know y'all worked together. That's pretty cool, man. Small world. So, yeah, man, shout out to South Central Los Angeles, Manual Arts High School, all my homies back there, man, way back in the day. Black Samurai 2025, Black Man's Renaissance. Thank you so much, brother. TIQS, over 1,000 likes on the main channel. Your Excellence. I went to their country and they did none of that. That's military talk. Yeah, man. Good looking out, brother. I appreciate you. Yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Y'all hit the #1 button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. We're going to continue on these endeavors. Now, look here. I want to say this, okay? The harsh truth to Black Americans. This is the harsh truth. Or should I say the harsh truth from Black Americans. And we like 3 hours and 30 minutes in, man. I done went on and on. Look, we have been the backbone of this nation as far as its labor force. We're the cultural pioneers. We are the moral compass. And when I say we're the moral compass, what I mean is we're the only group of people who are brought to this country in chains against our will. Yet and still we've sacrificed not only our labor, not only our bodies, but we have fought in every war. The Revolutionary War, before this country was even formed. Okay, the War of 1812 to keep it from being taken back by the British. The Civil War to keep this country united. You understand? We fought in World War I. We fought to liberate Europe. We fought in Korea to fight, push back communism. We fought in World War I to save Europe again and push back this fascist Nazi regime. Hell, we fought in Vietnam because they said, and I'm talking about Black men, we fought in Vietnam because they said this is what will be good for America. We got to fight communism, wherever it is. We did that. That was us. And we did that, and we came back to a country that still barely acknowledged our humanity, much less our rights as citizens. But we did it. And so we've earned the right to be the moral compass of this country. And at the point where you have Black people saying, no, we're going to step back, that means the rest of the country is going to step back. If Black folks stepped up and stepped in front of this freight train called ICE and got out there and started picketing, they would shut it down. They would say, we can't do that. Even Donald Trump with his big bad self. If Black folks stood up in front of it, they would say, well, we've gone too far. That's the power that we have in this country. No other group has that country. No other group has that power in this country. And we've done it time and time again. We did it for the Japanese. We did it for the Chinese. We did it for Latinos. We did it for Africans. We did it for Caribbeans when they came up here. We did that. And what have we received in return? Exploitation, betrayal, and empty promises. Enough is enough. We done. Somebody type "we done" in the chat room. See, the era of blind loyalty and free handouts and waiting for others to do right by us is over. We're no longer asking. We are taking control of our wealth, our political power, and our cultural legacy. No more of this enriching those who refuse to invest in us. No more delivering election victories to politicians who toss us crumbs and walk away. No. And no more allowing outsiders to dictate how we live, where we work, and what we can achieve. If they don't support us, they don't deserve us. And our strategy is crystal clear. Keep Black dollars in Black hands. We don't need DEI. We got ourselves. Or should I say, we don't need DEI as long as we got UNITY. Bars. If they don't invest in us, we cut them off financially. We vote for our interests, not empty promises. If they want us to fight, we want them. If they want to fight us, we got to fight them. They won't fight for us, but we won't fight for them. See, we need to focus on building the next generation. We're not raising followers. We're raising our owners and leaders and warriors for the next generation. Let's be clear. At this point, it's about self-preservation. It's not selfish. It's not cold-blooded to be indifferent, especially when you focus on your own survival. Again, and I cannot say this enough, we built this nation. And we will no longer let anyone strip us of our worth, our dignity, or our future. We are more American, or as much American as any person. That's why we call ourselves foundational Black Americans. We paid our dues. We did our time. So here's the deal. If you're not with us, step aside. We're no longer going to wait. We're not going to beg, and we're not going to negotiate. Our focus is on being Black, putting Black people in our interests primary, because history has proven that no one else will prioritize us. We're done carrying the weight. It's our time now. Shout out to my man, Joseph Asbury. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody here. I love you. I truly love you. I hope you all have been inspired. I hope you all feel justified and appreciated and loved. I've had a good time, and I hope you learned something. Nevertheless, this is Uncle D, and as I always say at this time, I'm out.
Dennis Burley Podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe.